Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and scan Amiibo. Real quick. A Devil Axe, Robin. Come on now. Lucina. 3,000. I'll take it. Marth. Marth also with the Devil Axe? You guys need Jesus. Grom. Black Sand Steel. And Ike. Brave Lance. Okay. Alright, you guys get over there. Oh, Crom fell on his head again. Well, can't be helped. Okay. So, I went ahead and got rid of some extra weapons and traded in some materials, so we have enough
Allow me
for
to assist with any
some
matters
facilities.
regarding the facilities.
Let's see. Allows the unit to unlock the use of elixirs. Sure. Allows level A weapons to be repaired. We'll do that too. Crom falling down is in character. Greatly increases chances of succeeding when volunteering. We'll do that. We're almost done with this one. Greatly reduces the cost of hiring battalions. We'll do that. One's also almost done. Progress.
Let me know if I may be of further service.
Alright. I'm gonna go to the tactics guy.
My instruction comes at a high price.
We'll do elixirs to start with. I don't use all my money, so we'll wait.
Don't neglect your daily studies.
We'll wait a moment for that. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, taken care of, I wanted to...
Hey there. Need something?
Dalton, thank you for the resub for 40 months. I hope you enjoy your emotes and your sub badge. Welcome in, Dalton. Also, Eco, thank you for the resub for 62 months. Eco's on a 62-month streak. That's a very long streak you got there. I'm glad they're re-releasing many of the Splatoon amiibo. Oh, are they, Wildcat? That's good. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to do that I forgot about until this moment.
Is this it?
Go ahead and repair this axe. Mighty axe wielded in the War of Heroes by the Imperial Wyvern Corps. I wonder whose axe it is in the War of Heroes. I think that was the only A weapon we had. Yes.
Is this it?
Minerva's weapon. Oh, is it? It's like a throwback. Gravelance 12, not bad.
Is this it?
Silver bow 8.
Is this it?
Those are great abilities on it. Perfect for a Wyvern Lord. So, would it be good to give that to Happy? I know that the axe Edelgard has right now would also be good for Happy.
Is this it?
Okay,
See you
I'm not
around.
spending more of my money. Although we
Hey
have
there.
free forge.
Need something?
Still gonna use smithing stones though? Well, it's not that many. Hopefully. I think Ash had a weapon that had low durability. Oh, I could also boost this one. Each one's gonna take a free... Wow, rude.
Is this it?
They're all here. Yes, all the new emotes are here. I'm glad you like them, Dalton.
Is this it?
Do that. Boost the durability a little bit. Oh, I can boost these as well. Hell yeah. Need Umbral Steel though. I guess I could buy more from Anna. I think she has
See you
some. I
around.
don't know if I don't think I bought it this time.
Uh-oh.
Incredible. I'm glad you like it,
Welcome.
Dalton. Wait, she doesn't sell it? Anna. Damn it.
Come back soon.
Fine then. I don't think, does the item guy sell it?
I carry a little of everything here.
No, he does not. Dang.
Hope to see you again soon.
Trade smithing stones? Is that the only way? You can't buy it? A lot more viable to get super high levels of foraging on weapons on New Game Plus because you can trade resources and unnecessary ores for those you need.
Supplies are the lifeblood of any army.
Wow, I only need...
Everything has
I
its
don't
use.
buy too many. Trading's the easiest way. Okay.
Hey there. Need something?
Okay. We can do 2. I mean, durability, it's
Is
fine.
this it?
Even stronger. This needs mithril. Boost that
Is
too.
this it?
I also want to boost Balthus's relic. Oh, I can't. What? Oh, because I need Umbral Steel. I was gonna say. Well, we'll just have to wait for that. It's fine.
Is this it?
You got tired of playing the supply swap shenanigans? Cat for the win! Animal Crossing.
See you around.
Again. Figure when you go to New Game Plus with Golden Wildfire, you'll finally max out the facilities. Oh, I'm doing that we're doing it this run because... Just because we are. We're pretty close. I am nothing if not determined. All right, so we have like 50,000 supports to do. As you can see here. So we're gonna check these out. You are certainly determined. I've never doubted that.
Perfect timing, Caspar. I was just looking for you.
You were? Oh, I get it. You want to go a few rounds, huh? Fine. I'll take you down without even breaking a sweat.
Well, no, I mean, okay, yes, at some point, but that's not what I'm here for. Your dad's around, right? I was sort of hoping I could get a session in with him. You know, a little lesson from the Minister of Military Affairs himself.
Yeah, you might not want to do that.
Why not? You're training with him, aren't you?
Well, sure, but I've been doing that since I could barely even talk. And it still knocks my backside into next month. A regular person like you wouldn't stand a chance.
Wow.
What about this looks regular to you? Come on, I'm serious.
Don't say I didn't warn you. You want my advice? Don't eat anything beforehand if you don't want to be cleaning it off your armor later. Oh, and cancel all your plans for after, because I can guarantee you are not going to make them. Just keep that in mind, okay?
Come on, is it really that bad? I appreciate the advice, but I think I'll be fine.
Hey, better to be ready than get blindsided by the pain. Trust me, I've lived it. Training with my father? It's a marathon of blood, sweat, and tears that'll leave you feeling like you're face to face with the goddess herself.
Yeah, I was waiting for
Hey,
that.
You still alive?
I can't feel my legs.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. You're just out of energy is all. You know, my father praised you. Nobody's ever kept up with him as long as you did.
Not even your mom.
Apparently, he's gonna come up with even tougher training now. Though I really wish he wouldn't.
I think I underestimated you, Caspar. I don't know how you can handle training like that every day.
Getting used to it was kind of my only choice growing up. I mean, I'm not as clever as you, so I had to make up for it by being tough as nails. That's why I'm always so gung-ho about getting stronger. Though, I don't know if that's really the most efficient way to go about it.
No, that training... efficiency has nothing to do with it. I think I get where that unwavering focus of yours comes from now.
Yeah? Well, in any case, I'm glad you're still alive and kicking. Our enemies aren't gonna know what hit them next time we get out on the battlefield.
Yeah. All this suffering would have been for nothing if we don't get the results to back it up.
You know, it's a nice change of pace seeing you like this.
Please don't laugh at my pain.
I don't know. Caspar's supports just aren't interesting. It's just... It's kind of like how Sully's were, where you're just like, yeah, I get it. You like to train. It's like, okay, I get it.
Lord Hubert, we've located what appears to be an enemy scouting party in the forest near our base.
This is certainly a matter of concern. We will need to make immediate preparations to...
But the one who located them was... Caspar.
Ah, I see. Then what of our casualties? Also, did we manage to capture any of the enemy?
We've 3 lightly wounded, including Caspar. And I fear none were taken alive.
I suppose such things are wont to occur when charging headlong into the fray.
Hey, Hubert! Did you hear how I cleared out a few enemy spies?
I did indeed. And on top of getting several people injured, you failed to capture any of said spies. Had you first called for reinforcements before leaping into action, that could have been avoided.
And what if they'd gotten away while we waited? Also, didn't you say it was fine when my old man did the same thing before?
Reinforcements would be nothing but a hindrance to Count Burgley's. If he could not handle something himself, additional soldiers would do nothing more. Besides, he would not have suffered even the slightest injury in the process.
Hey, I'm barely scratched. Ah, forget it. I'll win your respect next time for sure.
I don't think so.
Why do you ever insist on hurling yourself into danger at every
You're just making Hubert not respect you.
Clearly, some of the reason lies in your desire for military accolades, and yet... Let us take this most recent incident, for example. Had you summoned reinforcements, you would likely have received more plaudits for it. The capture of an enemy spy would have been a nice feather in your cap, as would coming home with fewer injured comrades.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. All I can say is that my gut told me to attack and I listened. And it wasn't a terrible result, so what's the problem?
The problem is whether or not your gut continues to avail you. If this instinct of yours is wrong even a single time, you will find a mound of dirt over your head.
Don't talk like that, Hubert. I might be aggressive, but I'm not angling to end up dead.
Your untimely demise would make trouble for me as well. Why, just think of the critical military manpower I would be sacrificing. Yet, at the same time, you and your gut mucking up carefully laid plans is cause for no less chagrin.
Ah, you think too much, you know that? I mean, if you want to make a name for yourself on the battlefield, you kinda have to accept the risk of death. I made the choice to distinguish myself in war in spite of that. But hey, you know what? If you think I'm gonna kick the bucket, go ahead and work that into your plans. Look, I know I'm your critical military manpower or whatever it was you said, but sometimes you've gotta win whether you have that manpower or not. Like I said, I'm not aiming to get myself killed, but I also know there are no guarantees in battle. Anyway, I figure that's gotta be the best way to make sure I don't end up being a burden for you. Oh, it's time for training. Gotta run, Hubert.
Placing your fate into my hands, are you? They say it is a fine line that separates the saint from the buffoon. How right they are.
Okay, Hubert. Hubert's done. I don't blame him. That's why he looks like that. He's tired of carrying all this army. Hubert's gonna let Caspar die. I mean, probably. Oh. Ooh. There we go. Alright. Let's make it so that I can't scroll and get small. Hubert said turn on classic mode. Tend to really miss Hubert when I do other routes. Love how he destroys people with facts and logic. Me too. I do love Hubert. Okay, well there are no other Caspar supports. Thankfully. I just... There is always that, at least one character, usually more, that's like, I like to train. That's my personality. And I just find them a bit boring. Well, I know everyone in this chat's favorite character is Ash. And so many of you said you hate him. So, let's watch this one.
Hey, what's wrong? Something on your mind?
Kinda, yeah. Remember before when we were talking about my mom? The more I think about it, the more I'm realizing she really was a strange person.
What do you mean?
Exactly that. Everything about her was kinda just a mystery. I've spent hours trying to puzzle out how she might have ended up in that remote village, but I keep coming up empty. I mean, someone that smart is rare even in the biggest cities, right? She practically knew everything. Even using magic was a breeze for her.
She may not have talked much about her past, but can you think of anything she mentioned that could give you a clue? Maybe something about the people she knew, or unique things she owned.
If she did, it's not coming to me. She's been gone so long now. So yeah, nothing really springs to mind. I don't even have any mementos to remember her by.
Then we'll just have to investigate. I'll help.
Investigate? As in my mom? Where'd that come from?
Well, both of my parents died in an epidemic when me and my siblings were still very young. I still have some hazy memories of them. Food they used to make, that kind of stuff. But that's really all I have left. And since they were commoners, there's almost no record of them. All my searches came up empty. I know how much that hurts, so it's not hard for me to sympathize with what you're going through.
Huh.
Really, it's just so I can get my own closure. We don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Okay.
All right, I'm in. I'd love to learn some more about my mom.
Give me the lore.
Okay then, how are we doing this thing?
The most sensible place to start would be talking to people who knew her.
I doubt
This is
anyone
gonna
in
get
the
real
village
awkward
really
if Ash
remembers
seduces
her,
my
though.
mom.
We weren't exactly the most social family.
Still, someone must have known her. It's impossible to stay completely unnoticed in those small mountain towns. It's entirely feasible one of the villagers can tell us something. Or, what about the village chief?
If anyone's gonna remember her, it's him. But for all I know, he could be dead by now, too.
Then we'll just have to send a letter and find out. And if we never get a response because no one there can read, well, in that case, we can go ourselves.
Guess it's worth a shot. I feel kinda bad sending a messenger out that far, but we might as well see what happens.
Great. Now come on, let's get started on that letter.
It is kind of odd that her supports with Ash are just about her mom. Like, is that the only way we learn more about her family? Just through Ash? Feel really bad for Ash on this route. Hope he gets better treatment in the other ones. Yeah. I mean, I get Dorothea being like, I don't really want to be here. I don't really enjoy violence or this war, but I'm here to protect my friends. Ash just doesn't seem like he wants to be here at all, which is valid, but
Tough fight, eh, Lawrence? I'm just glad we both made it back safe.
Indeed. Without your help, I surely would have met a noble warrior's demise. Thankfully, my admirers will have no reason to weep today. And for that, you have my gratitude.
Well, that took a weird turn.
Do you remember what I said before about the order of things in Fodlan?
How could anyone forget?
Yeah, wasn't it something like, you nobles are here to protect us commoners, so we all should just be good little kids and go take a nap or something?
Well, I don't recall saying anything about naps, but yes,
That was Linhart.
we nobles have an obligation to protect the common folk. However, were a commoner to take a lethal strike in a noble's stead, then we have failed in our duty. I was dangerously close to suffering that fate myself.
Okay, sure, but you would have died if I hadn't saved you.
And in doing so, you put yourself in a most precarious position. Your life could have been forfeit.
Risking my neck to save others is just what I do.
Yes, well, you were lucky to keep it unsevered this time. Mark my words, there is no reason a commoner should ever put their life on the line for a noble. I couldn't bear the thought of someone of your status sacrificing their life for the sake of my own. So do not do that again. Are we clear?
No. Point out how ungrateful he sounds.
Huh. That's how you repay the person who saved your life? I expected better from you, Lawrence.
Oh, no, that's not it. Truly, you have my sincere thanks. I simply want you to understand my position.
All right, I take it back. No need to get all riled up. You're a real piece of work, you know that?
Me? How rude! I will have you know I'm quite serious about this matter.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but we can end up in that situation 100 times, and I'll save you every single one.
Astonishing! You fail to understand me after all this.
I get what you're going for, but I've got my own way of doing things. Mercenary or no, I know there's nothing worse than watching an ally die right in front of me. Especially if they're weaker than me. I just can't help but jump in to save them, you know?
Weaker? You cannot possibly mean me.
Well,
Hey, you're the one who almost kicked the bucket out there. If you don't want people rushing in to save you, then you've just gotta get stronger.
I must admit, your argument is sound. I cannot refute it. In that case, I ask you keep your eyes on me from this day forth. I shall endeavor to improve myself. The day my strength surpasses yours, my noble personage will save your commoner skin and restore the proper order to this world.
he missed.
Yes, this shall solve all of
He
Fodlan's
missed the point
problems.
entirely.
This is why nobody believes me when I say he's actually a decent guy.
Wow. Oh, Lorenz. Like, he means well, but he's so condescending. He doesn't even know. I would really love to see how some of these characters would react to Edelgard just getting rid of the nobility. Like, once that finally happens. Like... Even the writers admit Lorenz is extra. It's true. That remark is why everyone says to people seeing his seat supports for the first time.
Lawrence, I'm so glad you're awake.
This is the infirmary.
Oh, was this
I see
after
you've been taking care of...
he saved his life?
Please, you mustn't get up. Professor Manuela said your wounds aren't too deep. Apparently the blow to your head was the worst of it.
I see. My apologies for all the trouble. To think my outing on the battlefield would end not in glory, but merely in losing consciousness.
Who the fuck keeps beating him up?
What is it, Marianne? I am perfectly all right. You needn't worry yourself over me.
No. It's my fault you ended up like this. You shouldn't have saved me, Lawrence. If only I had been injured in your place.
No, Marianne.
I must have been hallucinating during the battle.
What?
All was well one moment, and the next I felt a sharp gaze piercing my soul. Help me, it beckoned. No sooner had I turned around than I saw you there, the very same words seeming to float across your lips. But it seems my eyes were deceiving me. So you see, the blame for my injuries lies entirely with me. I simply assumed you were asking for my help, and thrust myself into danger to provide it.
No, it's not your fault. Please, to be honest, I truly was asking for help.
My apologies for teasing you so, Marianne. But I know now how you actually feel, and I'm glad to know it was not just a hallucination after all.
For so much of my life, I didn't care if I lived or died, and yet when I saw you there beside me, I realized I did care. I wanted to live.
And that is good enough. Such instincts are only natural. You needn't try to justify it to yourself or anyone else.
Lawrence.
I thank you for opening up to me, Marianne. We will survive this war. Together.
We will. And thank you.
Aw. Marianne.
Aw, no! I scared away another one! I know I'm hidden. Why do they keep noticing me?
You really want me to answer that
Of course they will
question?
be noticing you, Raphael.
Whoa! Petra! Wait, why did you say of course?
Because you are moving like a giant bear when you are hunting. Even animals without ears are hearing you approach. You must have subtleness.
Okay, but bears are really strong, right? So maybe I should just channel a little more of that. Bear roar! Ah!
This roaring is only making you louder. Now the animals are running even further away. You are hunting rabbits, yes? And foxes? These creatures are not wanting to be friends with a bear.
Oh, yeah. I guess I'd run too if a bear was coming after me like that. So, how do I get more subtle? I mean, how do bears hunt?
Often, bears are not hunting.
Seriously? But they're a couple 1,000 pounds of muscle! You can't bulk up that much and not even flex! It's just not right!
Do not be looking at me. I am not knowing the ways of bulk.
Oh, right. Well, if the bear thing is off the table, what do you suggest? I mean, how do people hunt in Bridget?
Our hunters have much subtleness. They are hiding themselves completely. For you, I am thinking this is not a possibility. But there are many in Fodlan who are hunting with skill, despite not hiding like the people of Bridget.
Really? Oh.
They are using hounds. Hounds do not have subtleness. But I am not knowing the specifics. We do not use dogs for hunting in Brigid.
Toka.
You know, I think I've heard of that before. I wonder why dogs are so good at... Oh! Dogs are basically wolves, and wolves are natural hunters! I get it now! So basically, I just need to channel my inner canine.
I do not have understanding.
Oh yeah! My hunting luck's about to improve! Wolf howl! Arr!
Okay. I'm sure this won't end in utter disaster. Okay, buddy.
Hey, I was wondering if I could ask you something. I heard that you don't have any parents. Is that right?
That's a question.
Yeah, the woman who raised me died, and I don't even know who my birth parents are.
That must be tough for you, huh?
I don't really feel sad about it or anything, but I do think about my birth parents sometimes. It can weigh on me, not knowing who I really am, you know?
Well, you might not know who you are, but you still work hard and you keep your chin up through it all. That makes you super strong in my book.
Hey, Raphael. Your parents are gone too, right?
Yeah, we had that
Yeah.
discussion in that
Both
paralog.
my mom and pa died in an accident.
Well then, you're just as strong as I am. You work harder than anyone I know, and you do it all with the biggest grin in the world.
Of course! It's easy when you love training as much as I do. Hey, I just realized something. We've sure got a lot in common. Our parents aren't with us anymore. We're both commoners scraping our way through this war, and most importantly...
What can be more important than that?
both of us have got some serious brawn!
I appreciate that, but our body types are completely different. Not sure this really counts as brawn.
Sure, you're a little scrawnier than me, and maybe a lot smarter. But you know, my brain's been getting a constant workout ever since we opened the inn.
You have an inn?
Oh, yeah. I went home and started one up with my grandpa and little sis once the academy shut down. Running a business like that takes a surprising amount of muscle. Sure, there's regular stuff like hauling things around, but you need brain power too. If you ever want to make a profit, you have to pay real close attention to keeping the books straight. I mostly let my sis handle that stuff though. That muscle still needs more work for me. Which means I'm in charge of the cooking. But that has its own share of problems.
Yeah, it can be tough to find your footing when you switch jobs, especially if you have to start doing things outside your wheelhouse. Trust me, I've had my fair share of growing pains getting used to the army life. Everything's way different from how it worked with my merc groups.
But don't you just fight? That doesn't seem so different to me.
Mercenaries tend to get involved in smaller skirmishes as opposed to big battles, and most of them prefer to fight solo if they can afford it. But an army acts as one unit. Coordinating that many people all at the same time is a huge change for me. And there's way more to military work than just plain combat. Stuff like managing resources, making sure everyone has the weapons and armor they need. I don't think I'm bad at math per se, but it's definitely not something I'm used to doing. And the more stuff there is to keep track of, the harder it all gets.
Hey, you're not so good at using your brain either. We're practically twins. That makes us pals now, right?
Wow.
I've got your back. So you just keep on working hard, buddy.
Right back at ya. Let's keep fighting the good fight.
All right. Hey, DJM. How dare he call cheese dumb, even if it's sort of true, but still. What's happening
hey,
here?
Ignatz. What you reading?
Wow.
Is he looking at porn? What's
yeah,
happening?
He definitely didn't hear me. Hey, Ignatz!
Ah, what? Oh,
He's looking at porn.
it's you. Can you please try to not sneak up on me like that?
Sorry about that.
Joker,
I was
that
trying
sounds
to
real
talk to
dirty.
you, but it didn't seem like anything was getting through.
I wasn't looking at Rhea's OnlyFans. Rhea just posted a new foot pic. Those noises were something.
You were making all kinds of weird noises while you were reading. You read something bad?
Oh my god.
No, nothing like that. It's just that this traveler's journal is full of such vivid imagery and wonderful
Oh, I bet.
surprises that
I bet
can't
it's
help but
vivid.
react.
You've seriously been lugging books around with you? Though I admit, that does sound like a good one.
Yes, it's fascinating. The author's unknown, but whoever it was really traveled to all these places and documented everything.
I didn't see you playing with your
It's
dolls
amazing
again.
how vastly things can differ depending on where you are. Like the plants or the animals or even the ore in the ground. And of course, the way people live in those areas is so diverse too. Like their food and their clothes. But what's most interesting to me is the architecture. Ruins in Fodlan contain ancient architectural styles that are, for some reason, also found on faraway islands.
All right, I get the picture. You talk like you've seen it all firsthand.
Well, I really try to place
Don't make
myself
me
in the
relate to
author's
Iggy.
shoes when I read.
You're looking at Rhea's
So
foot
I
pics?
guess in a way, I have. I'd love to visit all those places myself, but that's easier said than done. Especially since I became a knight.
Sidestep the issue, don't want to deal with. It's like when you don't want someone to tell you all their emotional baggage, so you like change the subject. Are you unhappy
The
being
way
a knight?
you say that makes me think you never wanted to be a knight in the first place.
Oh, no! No, of course I did. At any rate, both my father and my brother are pleased that it's official.
Sounds to me like you became a knight for them.
That's not it at all. I'm very happy with my decision, honest.
Even though you can't go off traveling?
Yeah, getting sent out to different locations for battle is kind of the same thing. Oh, but of course the mission always comes first. It's not like I go off wandering.
You knew what
whenever
you
I
were
feel the
getting
urge.
into, Melium.
Uh-huh. But you would if you could, right?
Why do you keep asking me about this? All these leading questions, they're uncalled for. I might not be able to travel of my own volition, but I can read books and go wherever I want in my imagination. And that's good enough for me.
I'm getting a little defensive there, Ignatz. Oh, conversation over.
Dear son, I hope this letter finds you well, and that you and your sister aren't fighting too much. It's been some time since I left the church in the kingdom, but I'm making do. Once this war is over, I hope the three of us can live together again. She seems in good health.
Yes, She sent me this letter as soon as I wrote her about being reunited with you. I know she was happy to hear that. She was always so worried about you, you know? We haven't seen you since we left House Bartels, so please go visit her when you have a chance. As you read, we were thinking that after the war is over, we could perhaps reunite.
No.
Why not?
I cannot face her. I killed my father, slaughtered everyone in the house. Our mother shouldn't meet a murderer.
Yes, I heard
Counter
about
argument.
that.
He sucked.
But I'm certain you took those actions because you felt you had to, right? Just explain it to her.
Mercy
She'll
justifying
listen
murder.
to you.
You do not understand. There is a murderous demon in my heart. The Death Knight inside me would cut you and our mother down without hesitation. If that happened, I would lose myself.
But we're here talking right now, and you're just as you always were. You're my little Emile who loves kittens and sweets.
Mercedes. I may be fine now, and perhaps the demon in me will even perish someday. But I cannot live with you until I pay for my crimes. And considering the weight of them, that day may never come.
But
I seek only to be judged by the law, and thereby atone.
so that's what you've decided, is it? In that case, I have no choice but to support you, no matter how sad it makes me. But just know that Mother and I will always be waiting for you, no matter how long it takes. I look forward to the day when you can show your face to her proudly.
I see.
We might both be old ladies by then. But we'll still be able to talk over tea like always.
Thank you, Mercedes.
Aww. Cute. Mercedes being a good sister. Your dad kind of deserved. Mercedes been hanging out with Hubert. She's like, well, you felt the need to murder him, and I support that, sweetie.
Huh? Oh, it's a cat. Looks like something spooked it. What's
The
wrong,
fact that
little
they
guy?
choose to put the
Is someone
PNGs
chasing
right
you?
over their face when they
Not
could
that
just
you'd be
put
able
them
to
to the
tell me
side.
anyway. Yuritsa, what's wrong? Wait a sec. Why do I feel like this has happened before?
There you are.
Yeah? What's up?
Not you. Her. The creature who raided the pantry.
Wait, you mean the cat?
She is swift. This is not the first time she has eluded my grasp.
Now I'm picturing
Not
Yuritsa
the
just running
first-
around chasing cats.
Oh, so this is who you were chasing the last time.
They're all Edelgard's cats.
Yes, she was injured. I tried to tend to her, but she fled. Eventually, another soldier apprehended her.
So that's what was going on. It wasn't a person who went missing. It was a cat. Now that I think about it, I don't know if you ever said she was a person. Sorry for jumping to conclusions.
The fault is mine as well. My word choice was poor.
Honestly, I'm more surprised than anything. Never really saw you as a cat person. I always thought your antisocial tendencies extended to everyone, human and animal.
I only loathe people. I had a cat once, back at House Bartels, with my sister.
No kidding. So they weren't always scared of you?
No. However, the cat vanished after my mother and sister left. Perhaps it was frightened by the sight of me covered in blood.
Nah.
I'm no expert on cats, but do you really think they'd just forget someone who took care of them?
I do not know.
Cats are fickle. Anyway, what do you plan to do once you've caught this bread bandit?
Take her with me, and make sure she never steals again.
Why did it look like
What's
cheese
that
made that
supposed to
noise?
mean? Look, you practically scared the whiskers right off her.
I'm gonna feed her so she doesn't steal anymore.
I only planned to give her some food. I wonder why she was frightened.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a while till she realizes you just want to help.
I just noticed the new Gilbert emote and I'm crying. You're welcome.
Whew, I am stuffed. Looks like you can really pack it away too, pal.
Still
Your
can't compete
seatbelts
with
are
you,
gonna
Balthus.
burst, buddy.
That sure did hit the spot, though.
Got that right. Now we can charge into tomorrow's battle fully energized. Hey, let's say we make a little bet. See who can go deeper into enemy territory.
Okay.
All right, but only to compare who made it farther in the end. No other stakes. I'm not about to risk my life behind enemy lines just to win a bet. Way I see it, us mercenaries fight for two things: gaining renown and staying alive. This
What
isn't
about
some
money?
kind of game.
Figured you'd say something like that. You seem like the type.
And yet, you asked me anyway. Don't try to drag me down with you, Balthus.
What's wrong with a little game of chance? It's not like it's evil or something.
Then what would you call it? Financially irresponsible? Because I don't want to end up broke either. Not like some people I know.
You're one tough nut, I'll give you that. But I'm not talking about money. You know what I'm getting at, right? When you're on the battlefield, the only thing you can bet is your life.
That's exactly what I take issue with.
Okay, I know this might sound a little far-fetched, but hear me out.
This ought to be good.
Whatever you do, you'll do it 10 times better if you're having fun, right? That's the key to success.
I mean, you're not wrong.
See, so there's nothing wrong with having a little fun on the battlefield, whether it's with bets or with something else. Living on that edge between victory and death is the key to survival.
Maybe for you, but that's not how everyone else approaches it. I've known plenty of mercs who've said the same thing, but they never made it back home. In fact, you're the only one of them who's still kicking. So I'm sorry, but I have to disagree.
You know, you and I have a lot in common. We're practically kindred spirits. But this is the one thing we don't see eye to eye on. Strange, isn't it?
From where I'm standing, the only strange thing is the way you're thinking about this.
Well, I guess the bet's off then. Let's just put this little chat behind us and give it our all tomorrow.
Sounds good. Just don't get too reckless and wind up losing your head, okay?
Hey there, Shamir. What's a gal like you doing in a place like this?
Oh no.
Oh, it's you. What do you want?
Nothing in particular. Just had some time to kill. Thought it'd be nice to chat.
Shouldn't you and Caspar be off punching things?
That sounds nice and all, but I've had my eye on you for a while.
Oh no.
Try anything funny and you'll regret it.
Whoa, take it easy, pal. I didn't mean it like that.
Balthus.
I was just thinking the two of us have got a lot in common, yeah?
You did mean it like that?
Nothing comes to mind.
Hey now, let's not be too hasty. Take gambling, for instance. I happen to know you like a little game of chance, and I fancy a wager myself every now and again.
This is why you're in debt, Balthus.
You can't call it gambling if all you do is lose.
Sure, I've probably lost more than I've made, but hey, that's part of the fun, right?
Keep telling yourself that.
What about booze? From what I understand, you're quite the drinker.
But unlike you, I can actually hold my liquor.
Hey, that was one time. Nobody drinks Balthus under the table. Not unless I've lost
That was
a
one
bet.
time, huh? What did you do, Balthus?
You must lose often. I've seen you stumbling around here quite a bit.
All right, so gambling and booze are out. What about fighting? The battlefield is where we both come alive, yeah?
My fighting style is nothing like yours.
I can't argue with that. I like to get in real close and crack some skulls. Well, you prefer to pick off enemies from a safe distance.
That thing looks like it's giving
But
him a
even if
massive
our methods are
wedgie.
different, the end result is the same. It's kill or be killed out there.
Huh. So you do see how we're different.
Give me some credit, will ya? I might not be the best drinker or gambler, but I am the desirable king of grappling. I can tell you're not looking for your fights to be a bloodbath, unlike yours truly.
Because I don't like dying. I prefer to be the one doing the killing. That's why I use a bow. The only one who bleeds is the enemy. Aren't you forgetting something? After gambling and booze, you're supposed to ask me about women. Though I doubt our tastes are similar.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean? Hey, Shamir! Where you going? Huh. Wonder what that was about.
You dumbass. Oh, it's so good. Are we sure Allegra didn't write that? Because it sounds like something she would write for Shamir. Shamir likes girls confirmed. Very confirmed. That was great. But yeah, Shamir definitely would not be into Balthus. Not her type.
Interesting. Her Majesty refrained from drinking tea today. A bit unusual, don't you think? I believe the last time that happened was 15 days ago. Ergo, we can conclude she tends to renounce the beverage when...
Hey, remind me why I'm doing this again. What's the point of recording all this stuff? Why not just hang out with her?
It is not stuff. These are Her Majesty's great exploits. They must be accurately recorded and preserved within the annals of Imperial history.
Not sure I'd call her tea habits great exploits. No one's ever gonna need that information. And how do you remember all this? I couldn't even tell you what I had for breakfast this morning.
I remember everything Her Majesty does. Every word she has ever spoken to me. Every morsel she has ever eaten. Not to mention where and when she ate it. Every sigh that has escaped her lips. Each and every one of her favorite...
Yeah, let's stop there. This is all sorts of weird.
Why do you say that? These are simply records that need to be kept.
Convince her she's being weird.
Just think about it for a minute. Have you ever read a book on Adrestian history that lists the number of times an emperor sighed?
There has never been a historian with a memory like mine, nor one who could keep such accurate records. Until now. The sole reason I have this excellent memory is to ensure that Her Majesty's great exploits are documented properly.
I don't think
But if
sighs
your
fall into
memory's
that.
so good, then there's no reason for me to help, is there?
Oh, but there is. Her Majesty places a great deal of confidence in you. She often engages you in conversation, and the two of you spend an insufferable amount of time together. As such, you're able to obtain information I could not otherwise verify on my own.
Imagine Monica
There's
asking
nobody
Violet
more qualified than you to assist me in this undertaking.
personal questions.
All right, fine.
When she and
I
Edelgard
get
are
that you're
dating.
serious about all this. I don't mind lending a hand when I'm not busy, and there doesn't seem to be much harm in it. For Edelgard, anyway.
Spoken like a true confidant of Her Majesty. How dependable of you. It's no wonder she trusts you more and more each day, even if it is maddening. And so, the time has come for me to grant you a very special privilege. I will permit
That's
you to
what I was
devote yourself
thinking
to Her
too, Ika.
Majesty as a sign of your undying love.
Okay.
I'm honored, I guess. Does that mean you're not jealous of me anymore?
I suppose not. We will be comrades, joined in our quest to bestow love and affection upon Her Majesty.
Well, all right then. I wouldn't get your hopes up, though. I'm not really sure how I'd show my love for her, or if I'd even want to.
Very well. You clearly still fail to appreciate the full extent of Her Majesty's charm. However, I am confident you will come to your senses the more you assist me. I hope that one day you will ascend and become a true admirer of Her Majesty.
Monica, you
yeah,
sound like you're making
you
a
do that.
cult. That's kind of what that sounds like. Oh boy. No, I have not played Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Also, if you guys at me a lot, it makes my chat red and it's kind of difficult to read. It's a little bit distracting, so I'd prefer you didn't at me. Unless it's like answering, you know, if I need help with something, I'm asking a question, you want to make sure I see it or something, but otherwise it gets to be a little much. Monica just inducted Cheese into her Edelgard love cult. Could you imagine if you turn around and then you see Violet like wearing a shirt with Edelgard's face on it? They all just start doing that. And Edelgard's like, why are you doing this? She has no clue, because she wouldn't. To know what color her small clothes are. The only size that need to be recorded are Happy's. That's true. Happy's size are pretty important. It's a very good point. Dorothea and Ferd, okay.
Is something wrong, Ferdinand? You're staring quite intently at those plants while you water them.
I did pick Dorothea, didn't I?
I
Or did
was
pick
merely
Edelgard?
reflecting on something I saw long ago in Enbar.
Oh? What would that be?
Yeah, what?
In truth, it is nothing noteworthy. Back when I was a child, I saw a water nymph dancing and singing in a fountain along the main street.
Yeah, it was Dorothea.
She was radiant, brilliant in the dewy light of the sun. But as an immature young lad, I grew embarrassed and ran away.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
And you're sure of what you saw? A water nymph?
Absolutely. Her song resonated within me. It was a bucolic tune sung by common folk around the capital. As I recall, she had not been wearing so much as a scrap of clothing.
Why does that detail need to be there?
Once I finally mustered up the courage to return, the nymph had vanished.
Such a tale hardly seems possible.
What? That's the reason Ferdy ran away that day? No way. I've been wrong about him this whole time? I mean, considering how I must have looked in that fountain... Oh no.
Edelgard, you're full of shit,
right now.
Ferdy.
I have to go back.
Is that Dorothea? I wonder what she's doing over there.
He's seen me. All right, Dorothea, just be calm. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Why, if it isn't Ferdy and 80, what a coincidence to bump into the two of you here.
Dorothea, your face is red.
Yes, indeed it is. Do you have a fever?
Really? I feel fine, but... Well, I was just coming to check on things, but since it all checks out, I'll be going. Bye!
Wait, you could suddenly take a turn for the worse. So, I will escort you back.
No, I'm fine. I'm not going far.
Seems very out of character for
It's
Dorothea.
still too far to travel alone. If something were to happen to you, it would already be too late. Come now, take my arm. Or if it please you, I could carry you there.
Enough! I am perfectly fine, so just mind your own business and stay away from me.
There it is.
No one appreciates obstinance, Ferdinand.
LOL?
Apologies. Although, given the intensity of her rebuff, I worry she may not have liked me to begin with. Have I committed some grave wrong against her? What should I
Edelgard
do?
is literally Ferdinand's mom. Seriously, that's just like... Now. Anyway. I'm glad Edelgard was part of that. It really made that one. Edelgard's like, dumbass. Pretty much. Oh, Petrum Hubert.
Surrender now, and I will spare your life.
Oh, okay. We're starting
You're
out
all
strong.
alone, fancy boy. What you gonna do?
Oh, you are positively brutal.
She seemed to be reaching for a weapon. It is better to have safety than
You're-
sorrow. Also, she would not have told you any information of usefulness. You have knowledge of this.
As she is now nothing more than a corpse, I cannot be certain of anything. However, I must admit she appeared to be going for her blade. You have my gratitude.
There is no need for thanks. I have awareness that you could have been dealing with that assassin yourself.
Perhaps. Still, I must say I have never hidden atop a tree just in case I needed to put an arrow into someone's back. I must try it sometime. I imagine such tactics are part and parcel for a woman of Brigid, though I am a touch surprised a queen would resort to them.
Why does it give you surprise? It is the tactic of most cleverness. You can attack with safety and with clear shots at the enemy's vitals. Or are you thinking that a queen should not be like her people?
Oh no, not in the slightest. In fact, I can think of no wiser strategy than for a queen to
This is
position
flirting.
herself
It certainly
somewhere
is for
safe.
Hubert. Hubert is very turned
Fodlan's
on.
history is littered with foolish rulers who have gleefully ridden off to their own deaths. All in the name of the ludicrous, contemptible concept they call chivalry.
Chivalry. Ah, yes, that is the code for the knights. There are no knights of Brigid. We have agreement that they are without sense. But in Fodlan, I have been reading many books about chivalry. It is a code without point, yet it is followed by many. I do not have understanding of the reasoning.
Well, knightly deeds make for good tales, and tales have a way of stretching very easily. Over time, it is likely that people let go of the fact while happily embracing the fiction. Perhaps Fodlan once enjoyed an era of peace just long enough for that fantasy to take root.
Interesting. It is peace we are wishing for, but also peace that is making us weak. I am not wanting my land of home to be weak, but I am wanting it to have peace. The meaning of this is that chivalry may be coming to Brigid one day.
Despite my grumbling, it is not a system completely without use. For example, it serves well enough for keeping otherwise unruly warriors under control. Still, one advantage cannot make up for a host of failings. At the end of the day, it is a poor belief system at best.
I will be keeping your words in my mind, as I attempt to create an era of peace.
Yes, be gone with the tired old ways and usher in a new age for all. That is what we are fighting for.
I like the mutual respect they have for each other. I feel like a lot of characters in this game, you get to see that more. Like, you see more friendships in this game. And I like that. Hubert has a thing for being threatened. They literally just shit on the kingdom. Yes, they did. They're both like, don't be stuck in your ways. Hubert shit-talking Fargus culture in his free time.
Lady Edelgard?
I'm sorry, Petra. Am I interrupting?
It is okay. I will soon be finishing. I am offering prayers to the spirits, so they will be guiding us to victory in battle.
Is this how you pray in Brigid? In Fodlan, we usually save such things for a chapel.
Yes. In Brigid, we are offering our prayers to the forests, the mountains, the skies, anywhere the spirits are dwelling. In Fodlan, the people are offering their prayers to the goddess. In this, we are differing. But we are the same, in hoping to live long and fight for what has meaning.
Yes, of course. Perhaps I shouldn't ask this, but is it not unwise for you to be risking your life here in Fodlan? You are the Queen of Brigid. Your people need you to return safely to them.
Yes, your words have truthfulness. If I am dying here on foreign soil, I am betraying my people. You gave me your promise to be releasing Bridget from its vassal relationship to the Empire. And if I die, your promise will be dying with me.
Yes, I suppose it would. If you died, I would have to renegotiate our terms with your successor. That wouldn't be an issue if she were as capable and reasonable as you. But would she be? And for the record, Petra, I don't want you to die. You are a dear friend.
Your words give me great happiness. But I am still content to be risking my life here in Fodlan.
As we get closer to cornering our enemies, there's no telling what kind of foul tricks they'll employ. Are you certain you don't wish to walk away from this? It could easily go awry after all.
I am knowing the danger, but I have done my deciding. I will not be turning my tail and running while you are standing and fighting.
I'm grateful, but unlike you, I cannot back down from this fight. This war is one of my own making.
And I am choosing to share it. If we lose, then we will lose. But I will not be having regrets. I will be fighting with you until the end of bitterness. That is the prayer I was offering.
Well, I'll do my best to avoid a bitter end. Regardless, you have my thanks, Petra. Your resolve humbles me, but also gives me strength.
You are the Emperor. I am the Queen. Our relationship is not one that is usual. Not everyone can be standing on equal feet with you. This is something only I can be doing. And so, I will continue standing by your side.
Let no one say the Queen of Bridget is not gracious and noble. But I do hope we never turn into a couple of stuffy royals who insist on doing everything by the book.
I have trust that you will never be letting that happen.
Aww. This is one of your favorites in the game. It's so good. Make them hug. Queens supporting queens, that's right. Really wish we got a support like this in Three Houses. They deserve an A there. Yeah. They do have a nice friendship. And I also like that it shows that Petra really wants to be here, you know?
I should call it a day. You sticking around?
Nah, I should finish up too. Thanks, Shamir. I have to work out new unit formations for our next battle.
You're pretty conscientious for a mercenary. That's rare in our profession. Well, sorry to cut and run. Good luck with all that.
No worries, I can handle it. It's my responsibility after all.
Right, well, if you ever need a hand, just let me know.
Really? Thanks. Dependable as always, Shamir. Honestly, you're so mature for your age. You always seem so composed, almost wise, even when we're just chatting.
I wouldn't say wise. Save that for the higher-ups. I just mind my own business. Plenty of mercenaries do the same.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
You know, you're pretty easygoing yourself, even by merc standards. Have you been on your own for long? Didn't you belong to a mercenary group at some point?
Yeah, but I bounced around a lot. Let's see, the company I was with the longest was... probably Burling's mercenaries, the last one I joined. But then we clashed with Gerald's band, and I was the only one who survived.
There isn't a mercenary who hasn't lost someone or something along the way. But losing trusted comrades stays with you.
Yeah. Captain Burling, Getz, Lasley. We were a tight-knit group, if a little rough around the edges. I would have been content staying with them till the end.
Maybe your experience is what's made you so pragmatic. It takes real strength to overcome past hardships and move on. That's what I think, anyway.
You know, you seem way more pragmatic than me. I wonder what made you that way.
You should know not to pry into a mercenary's past. But if the right moment comes...
She doesn't know that.
Maybe I'll tell you about it.
The guys that appear in the prologue, totally forgot about them. Yeah, they've made zero impact. None.
You ready for this? Come at me. No hesitation. You actually managed to dodge that.
Not sure dodge is the word I'd use. I just let my power loose without even thinking. Guess I'm still no match for you.
Give yourself a little credit. It took everything I had to keep up. If you could avoid an attack like that, then you're easily on par with me.
But
oh
you
shit,
barely
keep us
even
aboard.
used your power. You know, the one that throws off your enemy's perception or whatever? I wouldn't have stood a chance if you hit me with that.
So you've noticed it.
How could I not? We fought about 1,000,000 times by now. Your power's not exactly visible, so it's definitely tougher to catch on to than mine. But I've experienced your kind of beatdown firsthand, so I'm painfully aware of the damage you can inflict.
Sorry about that. I couldn't afford to pull any punches back then.
It's fine. Water under the bridge. So, have you had your power for long? Where'd you learn it? I was kind of wondering if I could pick it up myself.
I only became aware of it when I was fighting hard against you. But I don't think it's something a person can learn. Even I barely understand how it works.
Right. Gotcha. Sounds like we're in the same boat then.
Yes. Just two strange people with even stranger powers. And I'm not only talking about your sword. Do you ever feel like there's some sort of mysterious presence within you?
This is awkward.
It's just that
Have you accepted
sometimes
Sothis
it's hard
into your
to tell
heart?
what you're thinking. Like you get distracted by something from time to time. Almost like you're talking to someone else. Inside your head.
Are you asking because that's what happens to you?
No, it was just something I noticed. I simply thought I'd ask.
If you say so.
Interesting. Do you have time to discuss the creator Sothis?
Well, this is great.
Having some trouble there, Gerald?
I wanted to replace the clasp on my gauntlet, but I can't quite get the blasted thing to stay.
Here, let me try.
Oh, look at that. You got a real knack for these things. Thanks, kid.
I'm surprised you've survived this long with those ham hands.
Being a good mercenary isn't all about
Rude.
dexterity, you know? Besides, when you've lived as long as I have, your body just doesn't work as well as it used to. Trust me.
You don't look that old to me.
You can't judge a book by its cover. I might not look it, but I'm practically an ancient tome.
Seth is
Not
like,
to mention I've lived pretty
listen
hard.
here, youngin'.
Might just be a gut feeling, but I've started feeling like the goddess might call me to her side before long.
Better not be
Come on,
foreshadowing.
It's not like you're at death's door. Besides, you really think the
He's like, I
goddess
get
would be
this weird
calling you
feeling
of
whenever
all
I see
people?
Monica.
You don't hold anything back, do you? If the goddess won't have me, then I'll just have to make do in hell.
Peter called it. Cheese is another daughter
Do you
now.
think
Yep.
you'd have any regrets if you died right now?
Not one. Except maybe living too long.
What about leaving your kid behind?
Can't say I wouldn't be worried, especially because that kid isn't exactly normal.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I've never seen a power like that before. Not even generals with crests.
Yeah, your
measure
kid's a
up.
real freak.
True, it's not like my training was all that rigorous either. But before I knew it, my kid had become the Ashen Demon. Just a personal quirk, I guess. Makes it tough to find friends, though. In that sense, I'm glad we're here. There's tons of young folks around. And maybe the kid'll take a shine to you, since you're both mercenaries.
Who knows? I've been hoping we could talk more at least.
Is that so? I'm glad to hear you say that. Takes a load off my mind.
Now you really sound like a dad.
I was never much of a parent, but I do worry all the same. You know, I think we were meant to end up on the same side. Would you do me a favor and look after my kid?
Don't be saying shit
When
like
you
that,
put it
Gerald.
way, it really does sound like you're about to die.
Great.
Hey, it's possible. Tomorrow's never
I
guaranteed.
really wish
in
you would
this
just
line.
cut to Monica in the background.
I meant what I said. Can I count on you?
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna refuse a dying man's wish after all.
You can't miss your daughter's wedding with Elle, Gerald. That's right. My kid's so quirky and murdery. Just standing in the background with a knife cutting cheese or something? Well, then cheese would be worried. Speaking of, this A support with Kita is locked for right now, I guess. We got a lot of locked supports happening. Alright. This better not ruin my ship. I'm gonna be so sad. You guys ready?
And that concludes today's performance. Thank
Oh,
you
Kita's
so
here too.
very much for coming.
That was a great show, Manuela. You really put a smile on this old man's face.
Not as extravagant as I would have liked, but I suppose it wasn't so bad, all in all.
But why put on an opera just for me?
It was actually your kid's idea.
Really? But how did...
I'm sorry, but after hearing that sad story about your wife, I just couldn't keep it to myself.
Kita's also trying to get them together?
I see.
I didn't mean to spill everything, but you raised quite the listener. Also, I was drunk, so there's that. Honestly, I don't even remember the conversation. I'm just going off what I was told the next day.
So there was
Wait,
that.
you were so drunk you couldn't even remember?
Oh my god.
Anyway, when I finally stumbled out into the light of day, your kid suggested we show you the opera that your late wife never got the chance to see.
Well, I'll be.
I know! It was such a noble, touching idea. It actually caught me a bit off guard. But I so wanted to try and fill that hole in your heart, even if only a little.
So we turned the opera into a duet and practiced during whatever free time we could carve out.
Aww.
Honestly, thanks for going along with it. I know you've probably got better things to do. I'm sure this opera put the original to shame. I'm grateful, and I'll probably be seeing my wife again soon, so I'll be sure to tell her all about it.
You're hardly in a position to judge, seeing as how you never saw the original. And you can stop that morbid talk
Tell him,
anytime
Manuela.
you like.
That's right.
You sound like a man on his deathbed, and I won't stand for it. You and that wunderkind of yours are going to survive this war and do your wife proud by living long and happy lives. Now promise me.
Sorry, but I can't do that. We're at war, and I lead a band of mercenaries. Tomorrow isn't something I'm entitled to. I made my peace with that a long time ago.
I admit there are some things out of your control. But I also know you'll do what you must to survive. So when this war is over, I want you to come see me perform again. And I mean on a proper stage with an orchestra. Why, even a tough fellow like yourself won't be able to hold back the tears. And after the show, you must let me try to seduce you again. Otherwise, I'll always be left wondering.
Just can't let it go, can you? I told you not to waste your time on this old man.
I don't care how old you are, or if you can't forget about your wife. Just promise me. I'll wrap your whole family up in my arms and give them more love than they know what to do with.
Manuela, he's got like 6 daughters now,
Until
but
then,
okay.
I suppose I can settle for just being drinking buddies. You wouldn't let a poor woman drink alone after her star performance, would you?
I think she just tricked me into agreeing to that. Still, a man is only as good as his word. Sorry, Citri. Looks like you'll have to wait just a little bit longer for me.
He's so cute. I'm so glad that they didn't ruin the ship, because I was very afraid that they were gonna have it be like him finding out that she's a slob and him being like, ew, gross, like all the other guys, and they would just play it for comedy. So I'm so glad they didn't do that. I'm not crying, you are. It was so good. Also, that is really sweet. I like how it shows that Byleth does really care about her dad. Even if she's not very emotional, he clearly does care about him, which is very sweet. Edelgard and Cheese are gonna be in that hug too. It's true. Can't believe this support is Black Eagle's exclusive. It's one of the best ones, right? And Byleth's gonna get a mom. It's gonna be great. Alright, chat. Your homework is to find good fan art of the two of them. Put in the Discord. Please and thank you. And Byleth is lucking out. New mom and sister. I don't know if people are gonna get endings in this or not, but if so, I would love to see their ending.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
Oh, you did, Joker. It was so good.
Make sure you're ready.
Time to work you into shape.
All right, I'm just gonna boost them a little bit.
That
for this
was a
paralog.
fluke.
And perfect that Happy wants to fight because she's gonna.
So, do I smile now, or what?
That'll do. For now.
Oh yes,
Can't
you
wait
missed the
to
homework,
see how you
Joker.
do.
Aideen and Byleth don't quite get there in this game since they don't have any spoken supports, but I'm already considering them a couple in Keytaverse, so it's already a thing.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
Can I copy off of someone else's homework? No. Not allowed. Alright. So we're gonna do this one. The Ashen Wolves Reunion. The Ashen Wolves are together again to render aid to the residents of the Garrigmach Abyss. All right.
What'd you bring the 5 of us together for, Yuri? We beating someone up? Because I'm always ready for that kind of thing.
It is always the same with you, Balthus. How can you possibly be so uncouth in my presence? Not to mention our dear frail Happy here. Stop thinking with your fists and use your brain.
Who you calling frail, Coco?
It was a figure of speech, dear Happy. Nothing more.
Jesus, like, why am I here?
We've been topside for a while, and you guys haven't changed a bit. You really think
later,
I'd call you
Joker.
out here just to lay a beating into someone? We're too busy for that. I've got a favor to ask of you all. Oh, and you as well, if that's all right.
No.
Nope. Sounds like you've got something nefarious cooking. Plus, I'm busy anyway.
Come now. Do you really think a beautiful man like me would be up to something nefarious? The only thing I'm up to is helping people in need. Turns out some old friends are in trouble. And we're about the only people in the world who would ever think to help them.
By old friends, do you mean from Abyss? The ones who followed us?
Well,
Oh, yeah,
look
you're
at the brain on
this-
Balthus. Exactly so. They've been caught up in some kind of struggle, and now bandits are after them.
In that case, count me in.
You should know better than to take Yuri at face value.
I don't know him. I've never
Much of what he
spoken to
said is
him.
true,
Constance.
But I am certain there is another angle to it as well. One which benefits himself.
I take care of my own. That's all.
I think the point is that there are folks from Abyss who need help, right?
He sounds different.
So let's quit bickering and go help already.
Good point. This is no time for anyone to be arguing with the shady lady here.
How dare you! I am not the one who is constantly scheming at one thing or the other.
Yuri Bird? Coco?
Hey, save some of that fire for the fighting.
Yeah, you can air all your grievances at the bad guys.
Exactly.
You're actually smart sometimes, friend.
So you usually think the things I say are dumb? Hey, wait, maybe you're right.
Yeah, but you're funny, so it all evens out.
That doesn't help.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, Yuri, it's time for the thing.
I don't know why everyone's giving Cheese a hard time when Caspar is in this army.
Fired up before we roll out. He used to do it in Abyss all the time.
Our house doesn't exist anymore. But if it means we can finally get going, very well. Let's do this, wolves. Oh, and you too, Mark.
Rescue the rogue and their allies. An ally is routed or a rogue is routed. Okay. Probably gonna have Happy dismount so she doesn't have all these weaknesses. That would be a problem. The constants just isn't playable in this one? I can't even switch them? Why? It seems odd, but okay. You can't control constants? Why? Also, so if I were to give the Merc Whistle to Byleth, does that mean I get the power to control time? Could be useful. You get her ability? Yep. That's what I thought. That's pretty cool. Or whoever equips it, yeah. Huh. Diamond axe. Sounds fun. Was pretty happy with Petra's ability, but I'm thinking I may do Marianne or Happy next time. Like, there's a lot. Twitter's let you down for good Geralt Manuela art. Sadness. Aw. Marianne's is strong. Honestly, there's a ton of good abilities.
Seems like our friends fled into the mountains. To get there, we'll need to take these strongholds.
Whoop.
Yeah, not bad.
Excuse me, I just had to level up. Easy showing off. Beat the warriors. Okay.
Let's get this operation underway, shall we? Starting the mission now.
Here goes.
I'm on it. No charge. Just leave it to me.
Pardon my ineptitude.
Here goes.
Yeah, I got it. Pardon my ineptitude. I
I shall exert what...
We're here, and we won't let any of you die.
Let the rogue and their allies be routed. Okay. Be there in a moment. Doing a thing right now.
They attacked out of nowhere. Said one of us had a bounty on their head and told us to turn them over.
They were probably talking about me. Well, that's awkward.
There were plenty of folks with bounties on their heads in Abyss. But no one can begin to match the rich price on yours.
You're the one who summons monsters, yeah? Happy or whatever? No time to open.
You've got the wrong person, you. I don't have any idea how to summon monsters. I swear.
Well. Beat the mysterious mages.
Pardon my ineptitude. I suppose I'm more useful than a scarecrow.
I'm on it. No charge. Just leave it to me.
Let's get this operation underway, shall we? Let's move out.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's done.
And I'm sorry to ask, but can you please rescue the folks in the mountain too?
The fantastic king of grappling is on the case.
Here it comes! You're done!
Wait, they think that person is me? Well, I don't want that on my conscience.
That's what they think.
Guess I better...
You're done!
Great.
That time already.
Huh? Wait. Why is there a monster over there? Must have had the wrong person. Come on!
I'm guessing they'll
Hey there,
follow
buddy.
the path to the monsters now. Yeah?
Defeat the giant crawler and the mysterious mages.
It seems news of your beauty has not spread as fast as that of your abilities. If you are being confused with a random man. You're done!
Bye.
Fine by me. Still, do you think that mage was working for the lady who kidnapped me?
Very possible, Happy. Did you guys take out... I mean, I guess they did. Hey, Con. It's going well.
Time to wreck stuff.
Just fighting a sandworm as you do.
Amazing what a little bloodshed can do.
Isn't
Easy
it, though?
there. You're all right now.
Happy! Hey, you'll be real proud of me. I didn't sell you out on nothing.
You're done!
Oh good, the gates are open. Polardo! That's good.
It would seem their leader has made himself known.
Oh, I want this money. Everyone's favorite character. You guys head over there. Why take care of this? Yeah, I thought we were gonna need a lot of KOs. 1,500? That's quite a few.
Well, I could use a new business angle. Perhaps I'll start by capturing you.
It's over!
Take a
You're
breather.
rather famous, aren't you? Yes, I imagine you'd fetch a tidy sum.
This guy is talking, but
You capture me? Not likely.
oh, he was trying to capture them. Well, how'd that go for you
Normally
there?
I like surprises, but I'm finding this to be most unwelcome.
Is it over yet?
Enemy reinforcements appeared and attacked the rogue, of course. I'm not sure which way we need to go to get there.
The enemy is some distance away. I will try to use my sorry excuse for magic to attack.
Constance is attacking with magic.
What was that? Magic?
Well, I mean, that's good, but Constance lost control of her magic. This is probably why you can't play as her.
It seems my other side has been doing some experimenting, and my magic got a bit out of hand as a result.
So, does that mean you can stop it now? Because we're getting burned alive over here.
Apologies, but I fear my meager intellect is not up to the task.
I'm unstoppable.
This reminds me how glad I am to have you on our side.
Good, don't want that. I'm just gonna take out this guy.
Let's get this operation underway. Starting the mission now.
Here goes.
Time to wreck stuff.
If we take over that stronghold, then I'll open those doors.
No, we can't let them die.
Can you unlock?
Let's get this operation underway, shall we?
I don't think so.
My turn. We'll bring it down in no time.
Constance lost bolting control.
I never should have gone topside.
Is it because I didn't have the stronghold? Is that why the doors weren't open?
It should be me dying, not you.
Yeah, okay.
The
Okay,
enemy
well,
is
start in
some
here, so that's fine.
Not a problem.
I'll just have cheese go over there then.
I'm on it. No, just leave it to me.
Happy, I told you to dismount earlier and you did not listen.
Pardon my ineptitude. I shall exert what meager ability I possess.
Let's get this operation underway, shall we? Starting the mission now.
Distance away,
I will try to use my sorry excuse for magic to attack. Beep.
What was that?
Magic? This is a problem.
What is she even aiming at?
There you are.
Oh dear. It seems my other side has been doing some experimenting, and my magic got a bit out of hand as a result.
Hey, Huntress.
So, does that mean you can stop it now? 'Cause
This
we're getting
is Black
burned
Eagles.
alive over here.
Well, we're doing a paralog for the Aftermaths right now. So none of the Black Eagles are actually here. Okay, it's open now.
Let's get this operation underway. Starting the mission now.
Pardon my ineptitude. I shall exert what...
I'm on it. No charge. I'll tag along.
Here goes. Yeah.
Let's do this! I'm unstoppable.
You're a real overachiever, aren't you?
Coco and Happy are eagles in your heart.
Problems like this in Abyss, too.
Yes, and I can only apologize most profusely. Though, if it helps, I will gladly forfeit my life.
It won't. Just hurry up and do something about it already.
I'm afraid the magic my other side developed is experimental. And sadly, most experiments end up as dismal failures.
There we go.
Didn't think I'd have to be more worried about friendly fire than the actual enemy.
Constant stop using magic. That's probably good for all of us.
For I was able to put a stop to it.
Yeah, not bad.
The conditions have changed. Oh, Mitodi. Well, we didn't have anyone else, so I guess,
Here comes the big boss. Gotta get this over
I guess
with.
we'll just use him.
I've got this.
Imagine if it was Alfric. That still could be. I don't think it's gonna be, I would be surprised if it would be over, considering we're only 7 minutes in.
You think me just some slap?
He kind of hit rock bottom after 80 fired him. Ew, it is the final objective? Oh. The toadie's fired up.
I
Wow.
understand this is how such folks make their living, and I have sort
I'm
of.
gonna have to, I guess, just go around and
But these roads are
KO
and we are going
some
to
friends.
protect them.
Yeah, hands off our rogues.
Yeah, hands off our... Hey, wait a second. When did this lot become our roads?
Yeah, right.
Oh, jeez.
Is actually giving me trouble.
I'm gonna try to just avoid him.
My
Get away.
accomplishments won't mean a thing if I'm not still standing when the battle's over.
Witnessing your bravery makes me feel as though even I can fight.
I'm just here to kill your minions. Almost. You got more minions? Oh, there they are. Come on, man. Okay, did it.
Someone always gets in my way.
Looks like it's over. You folks go on ahead. I want to talk to these rogues.
He looks friendly.
Even a mule will eventually reach its destination.
Wow, that's it. That was quicker than I was expecting it to be. Probably just because we have cheese.
Now that's how it's done.
Thanks for the help. Things would have been pretty hairy with just the 4 of us. I mean, we've got this guy pulling bounty hunters in from across the continent.
Hey!
And this gal summoning monsters.
Not my fault. Also, totally necessary.
And finally, the Grand Sorceress who rained pain down on friend and foe alike.
Even your condemnation is far too kind. I was of no help whatsoever.
Hey, everyone did what they could, and we all had a hand in the victory.
Yeah, it worked out in the end, so buck up.
It was nice to blow off some steam at any rate.
And I'm certain my other self was pleased to do more field tests with the new spell. Though at the expense of my complete and
Didn't
utter
go very well, but you know.
Well, I've still got my complaints, but I suppose I gained something from this too.
Oh yeah? What's that?
I went ahead and hired the folks we saved. I made it look like I was doing them a favor, and those in debt never seem to ask questions of their saviors. I'd been feeling a bit short-handed anyway, so it all worked out.
You're always looking
We
for
need to
an
get a
angle,
mini
Yuri.
umbrella for
That's the
Connie.
one thing about you
She
that
needs a little
never
parasol.
changes.
What do you mean, the one thing? What are you trying to say? What else changed?
You know, Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, so now I haven't changed? Do you even know what you're saying? Or are words just falling out of your mouth faster than your brain can make them?
Pretty much, yeah. Clearly B hasn't changed either.
Well, I have certainly changed. Alas, I have lost all of my hopes and dreams.
Are you kidding? That is 100% you.
I guess?
You 4 really are old friends.
We're quite the quartet, all right. But hey, why don't you make it a quintet?
Plus, I could use some help babysitting this lot. They call us the Abyssal 4.
You
but now
showed
that
up
we're
after
5,
all of them.
we'll
I
have to
think
change
we're
that
fine.
name.
Psst. Constance, did anyone ever call us that?
It's hard to say. Sadly, my feeble memory has all but wasted away.
We were probably called that.
I mean, it's not like Yuri Bird to just make things up.
Hey, what's
It
with you
isn't?
guys? Do you want to be a part of this group or not?
Not really.
And here I was thinking we'd all go out and celebrate our victory. I guess it's just gonna be the two of us, friend.
No.
Sure, I guess.
No.
No fair. It should at least be the three of us.
Hey, if you're paying, you know I'm in. Also, you're right. I think we were called the Abyssal Four at some point.
Maybe in Heroes.
Wherever you lead, dear Yuri, I shall follow, for I have no desires of my own. I will happily feast upon whatever meager morsels you see fit to scatter before me.
Constance!
Enough yapping. Let's get out of here already.
Well done. New support conversation available. Judging by who's in this paralogue, this just seems like it's gonna be sad. I don't know if I want to be sad right now. Is this one sad? Chat, do I need to prepare to be sad? Doesn't go as deep as you might think it would. Gets a little emotional. Okay. It's more sweet than bitter. In my opinion. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always sad. I'm just not in a space where I want to be extra sad.
Supplies are the lifeblood
It's
of
more
any
sweet
army.
than bitter. Okay. Hmm.
Everything has its use.
You say that every time. What support did we get? Oh, Constance and Happy.
Coco, I'm not gonna make it.
Without sighing?
What in the world do you mean? You look rather unsteady all of a sudden.
I'm so sleepy. Why not just end my suffering now?
Can you not pull yourself together? You were the one who volunteered for guard duty in the first place.
I know, but whenever it's just the two of us like this, it reminds me of how things used to be. And then I get all nostalgic and sleepy. Usually I'd be in bed right now, you know?
Well, I cannot deny feeling a little nostalgic myself.
I can't believe we're still together after everything that's happened. First, we had to help the knights, then we wound up in the Imperial Army. Wild, right? I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like we're best friends or something.
Have you already forgotten what you once told me? You said that you would be so utterly lonesome without me to keep you company that it would only be a matter of time before you began to sigh. It was necessary that I stay with you in order to avert certain disaster. I had no choice in the matter, you see?
Did I really say all that?
You did indeed. It was the very day we left Abyss, if memory serves.
All right then, fine by me. I wonder what everyone else from Abyss is up to now.
I mean, they're both here if you want to ask
Balthus
them.
and Yuri are alive and well, and I believe it is likely everyone else is thriving too.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Do you ever wish you could return to those days, back in Abyss?
Me? Nah, not really. Most of the people here don't know about my power. They actually treat me like a normal person.
Indeed.
Plus, you're here. It's like you said. I'd get lonely without my Coco. What about you?
Cute.
Would you be lonely without me?
Well, lonely is not necessarily the word I'd use.
So it's just me then, huh?
Okay, fine. I would be positively despondent without you here.
Aw.
There you go. That wasn't so hard, was it? I'm glad you finally admitted it.
You knew? Why must you always tease me so?
Come on. You were pretty happy when I volunteered for guard duty, weren't you?
Yes, well, you see, that was because it had already been assigned to me. I merely thought it would be easier to have a partner with whom I was already familiar.
Same here. That's why I volunteered. I knew you'd be my partner, Coco.
Ugh, I simply cannot win with you.
I'm not crying, you are. You're definitely doing a lot of not crying over there, DJM.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
Oh wait, I wanted to check.
Make sure you're ready.
Real quick.
Which battle do you wish to reflect on?
I'm missing 2 so far.
I'll continue gathering records of your battles.
I need more money.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
That's what I need. Timotheus Magic Core. Alright, in Shrouded Memories, those who slither in the dark operate out of bases hidden throughout Fodlan. 3 of the nefarious group's victims have uncovered intel on one such locale.
Well then, Edelgard, what is this new information regarding those who slither in the dark? And can I assume it is somehow related to her inexplicable presence at this meeting?
Hey Liz, how's it going?
Indeed, Lysithia. For you see, she is the same as us. Yet another poor soul whose fate has been bent to their nefarious will.
It can't be. Then the
You're
rumors
not
about
blonde.
Happy are true? Her powers came from their experiments?
Yup. What, you didn't believe it?
I did not, in fact. Rather, I assumed it was a lie you told to keep others away, or else slander spread by a rival.
A bit overboard for slander, don't you think? But still, I'm actually glad you didn't believe it.
So the monsters that appeared at the base the other day...
Yeah, that was me sighing about one thing or another. But the Burt covered for me.
I had my
Hubert?
suspicions, but it's good to hear the truth.
I presume we're ready to move on to
Hubert
the main
and
topic.
Happier Bros.
That is, if you're following all of this.
Nod your head despite your lack of understanding.
Oh, I have no idea what any of you are talking about. But I'm sure I'll pick up whatever I need to know along the way.
In that case, I'll just move on. If you have any questions, Happy can fill you in later. Now then, Happy's captor was a woman named Cornelia, the kingdom's former court mage. Apparently, she is also one of those who slither in the dark. When the kingdom learned she was planning an insurrection, they rallied an army and defeated her.
But is she truly dead? A cunning woman like her might have secured a body double and escaped.
We've no way to confirm for ourselves, and can only trust the kingdom was thorough in this regard.
Anyway, we think we found one of her old hideouts. Seems like it might be worth checking out.
Based on what we've been able to extrapolate from Happy's testimony, this base is somewhere in the western portion of the kingdom. With the war's front having moved further north, we're currently well positioned to investigate.
Oh, so that's why it took you so long to look into this. You had to wait for the war's tide to shift and grant you an opportunity.
And what? I'm just extra muscle in case any baddies show up? Or does this have something to do with my power?
For now, you are merely serving as additional steel. However, it's possible we might find a connection between Happy's power and your own. And though it might end up being nothing, I'd very much appreciate it if you came along.
Okay. Sure thing. I mean, it's my job to protect you anyway. Well, my and Hubert's job. Say, where is
I love
Hubert
that she
anyway?
includes Hubert.
He usually jumps at the chance to be involved in this kind of thing.
Hubert has a good deal on his plate already. Now let's be honest.
Did you tell him?
This won't take long.
Edelgard? That kind of sounds
Pray we
like you
might
didn't tell
finally
him.
Dispel the darkness that haunts us all.
She's like, no, I just wanted a girls' night out. I don't know. It kind of sounds like a secret mission to me. I don't think she told him. I don't think she did, because he would have insisted to go. So yeah, I don't think she told him. Hubert and Monica spend the next 3 hours having panic attacks. Yeah, they realize it, and Hubert's like, oh god, not again. But yeah, Hubert would definitely be here if he knew. Edelgard and her Crest sisters about to raise hell. The Crest sisters would be like the name of their band.
This is the location we deduced from Happy's statements. Hopefully we find something.
Find Cornelia's base.
I think our suspicions
We're gonna
were
find
correct.
Cornelia?
All signs point to their having been here.
Oh no, we found everyone's favorite character, Dark Mage. You mean like the Hex Sisters? Yeah. Exactly.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against. Here goes.
Yeah, I got it. You can count on me. I'll do my best.
And we're close, so just
Yeah,
get this.
I've been here before. No doubt.
friend. Rude. These the strongholds. Okay, well, give me a sec. I'm murdering this mysterious soldier. Hubert's new little sister, Edelgard, his dear friend Happy, and Cheese all disappear in one night. Yeah, poor Hubert.
Not a problem.
I don't know how long it's gonna take.
I've got this.
Hey, watch this.
Let's do this!
That works. Move.
This stronghold will fall.
Hubert will never sleep again. This is why Hubert looks like a dad with a newborn.
Yeah, all right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Take a
Come on, Cheese.
Keep our guard up. No telling when somebody's gonna jump out at us.
Where was anything? I can't remember.
Search the rooms. Okay. Can do that.
Not a problem. I've got
Easy,
this.
get on there. Happy
Here
can
goes.
keep going this
Let's
way.
get a move. Here goes. Yeah, I got it.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn
that
who they're
works.
up against.
Yep, my turn.
Hey there, buddy.
I'm all right.
Come on. Let's take it down at once.
Barrel roll.
Come on. You do realize you're stuck in here with us now, right?
Well, use the plaza and escape from the stronghold. Oh, it's just Lysithia in there. Okay.
Here goes. Let's get a move. Here goes. Yeah, I got it.
Watch closely.
Furious
They're
soldiers
trapped.
is huge.
We must help them quickly.
Beat the mysterious soldiers. Rescue the imprisoned allies from the guardhouse. Okay.
You can count on. I'll do my best.
Okay, well, Lysithia, you do that.
My turn?
Asai would probably bring this whole place down. Best not to risk it.
You're done!
Seize the kitchen and escape from the stronghold. There's a lot going on. Gates to the plaza open.
Hey, I remember this room. I wonder if there's anything here now. They did a lot of painful stuff to me here. Trying to amplify my crest, change it, that sort of thing.
You're surprisingly calm about all this.
Ah.
Yeah, all right.
Get lost! Come on!
Nothing of note here.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
Oh yeah, Butter. I was trying to listen to what Happy was saying because sometimes I miss things just because I'm either messing around with the map, like switching stuff, or like switching characters, or if I'm using abilities, sometimes I miss what's being said, so I was trying to listen to what she was saying. Hey.
This is where you run. Yeah,
I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me. Great.
Good enough. Here goes. Yeah, I got it.
Here I go. They must learn who they're up against.
Oh, it's my turn.
There we go. This one also requires 1500.
You can count on me. I'll go on it. You can count on me.
There we go.
I'll do my best.
They must all take over.
These could easily just teleport out of there. There we go.
Cornelius' research seems to have had different aims than the experiments I was subjected to.
Which means it likely differs from my own experience as well. For the sake of your future, Lysithia, I hope we find some connection. But I fear it does not look promising.
There are still rooms we haven't searched yet. Let's investigate those.
I won't lose.
Can you imagine what Hubert's gonna say when they get back?
Count on me. I'll do my best.
And where were all of you?
Yeah, I got it.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Ah yes, Neon Banana Hammer.
I'm all right.
Let's take it down at once.
Yeah, Lysithia and Edelgard definitely have like a found family kind of dynamic. Which is very
That
sweet.
sounds good. Sit tight. I'll get you out.
All right.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Here goes. Yeah, I got it.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
How do you like playing Lysithea? She's okay. Like, again, the mage classes are not my favorite, unfortunately. Here for you, future 280. Don't think it affects Edelgard like with Lysithea. I think it does. I think it's just not as extreme. So it's Lysithea has a shorter lifespan, but Edelgard's has been shortened as well.
You've already lost. I will end you.
I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Take a breather.
A sigh would probably bring this whole place down. Best not to risk it. I guess we'll attack here.
Mysterious soldiers are getting to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm pretty sure Lysithea had a natural crest too. They just gave her a second one.
Not a problem.
Use the command post. Must be here. Okay.
They must watch this.
Why didn't they show Edelgard or Lysithea's scars from the experimentation? Because you never see that much of their body.
Seems like nothing. Let's press on.
Hello, random archer.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Take them out.
Not a problem. I've got this.
You can count on
Jeez,
me.
they're just all over the map.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever stated what Edelgard's lifespan is. I think Lysithea's is about 25. So she's 15 pre-time skip, 20 post. And she says it goes up 5 years.
That's nice, I guess.
Also, yeah, because they use magic, it's possible they don't have physical scars.
Looks like their technology, at least.
Aside from the weird shape, it doesn't seem anything like my sword.
We've given this area a thorough look. Is there anything else?
A secret passage.
Hey, was I the only one who heard that? It came from over there. This is where you run. Come on! Yeah, you like that.
I'll take over. Here I go. No mistakes.
back up. My turn.
You said it reminds me of HP. I don't know who that is. Okay, so we need to go over here, I guess.
Here goes.
I don't want the Agarthans to be more gray than evil. No, there is no gray with Agarthans. I think as much as the fandom likes to complain or argue about
Not a problem.
the lords being, you know, good or evil, with the exception of Claude. I don't really think anybody could argue that Claude is evil. You could argue that he's selfish at most, maybe, but I don't think there's really any arguments there. But there's going to be arguments for both Dimitri and Edelgard and Rhea over whether or not they're good or evil. With the Agarthans, that just doesn't exist. They just are evil. Like, I really, at least from what we know of them, there's no gray. They're just bad. I mean, yeah, they might have their reasons for disliking the Nabateans, but, like, nothing that they do about it is okay.
Is this a dungeon? I've never been in here.
It's like the same dungeon that Monica was
just
in.
like the area beneath the palace. How many have met their ends here?
Be it alliance, empire, or kingdom, their evil has left its mark everywhere.
What triggered the door mechanism? Could my brethren have fallen?
Odess. Hi. Kinda sucked if there was some potential. There really isn't, at least at this point. Unless something comes out about, like, the Nabateans doing something terrible to the Agarthans. But even still, I don't think you can really justify all the horrors that they've committed. Even if that is the case. They're pretty much.
What connection? All your kind have done is cause me pain.
I don't know why you came here, but I won't soon forget this.
How could he not know? Let's collect what we've found and leave this place. Hubert should be able to tell us more.
Damn, didn't get enough KOs.
Don't.
I had this talent hidden away?
This better not be one of those weird powers.
Edelgard's like, let's ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I thought for sure we'd find better info in this place. And also that I'd be way more freaked out. Although, it seems like it was a different experience for you and Liz. Eh, Eddie?
I can't claim to be as disaffected as you, but I'm fine.
No need to put on a brave face, Edelgard. I feel terrible, and I'm certain you do as well.
Yeah, just wait till the
It's
next
just
route,
that
and
nothing
then you're
ever
really gonna
bothers
feel
Happy.
terrible.
In that case, I feel as if I've just gone digging through an entire crate of old nightmares. And yes, this base seems mostly abandoned now. But who knows how many found themselves chained to operating tables while Cornelia was still alive.
That kind of thing happened to all of you, right? Well, I'm glad you made it out the other side. Now we got to fight together like this.
We were lucky, that was all.
Sometimes I wonder if we were the lucky ones.
Anyway, why don't we get out of here before more jerks decide to crash the party?
Good idea. Nothing like a nice bed and a warm meal to lift your spirits after something like this.
This
So long
is
as that
rough.
meal contains something
Knowing.
sweet.
Sweet? Sure, all right. Why not?
Tea time it is then, for all four of us. Let's hurry back.
Perfect tea time.
I mean, if that's all right with the two of you.
Of course.
I'm actually growing fond of our weird little band. Still, you sure you're okay with me crashing your tea party with Eddie? Seems like you guys do that a lot.
Actually, I believe Monica is the one who has tea with Edelgard most frequently.
Jade?
No, it's definitely you, Lysithea. And then Ferdinand.
Jade?
Don't forget about yourself. I've seen the two of you hoisting cups on more than one occasion.
I had no idea everyone was so interested in my habits. You make it sound like all I do is drink tea.
Oh no, if anything, you don't drink enough. You're always working yourself too hard.
But you could stand to work more, Happy. And while we're on the subject of change, let's talk about Lysithea and her sweets addiction.
This just became an intervention?
I beg your pardon? Why, I barely have any interest in sweet things at all.
Lie.
And it's hardly fair to compare my work ethic with, you know, an emperor.
Double down on the
I
snark.
said what I said, and I stand by it.
How rude! As punishment, I demand you give me your daily dessert ration from now on.
Don't make me sigh at you, pal.
Sigh? What would that do?
Oh dear, you were all so very odd. But I'm still delighted to count you all as allies.
It's like, I don't know how to socialize with
Well,
you.
at least someone's enjoying herself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like that against those who slither in the dark just being evil, considering we do have so many great characters, so it's not like, you know. This fandom has enough to fight about. Don't need more. Ferd really is another of Edelgard's besties. Now we know that Edelgard has more tea parties with Lysithea than anyone else.
Supplies are the lifeblood of any army. Everything has its use.
Mm-hmm. Well. No one wanted to go on an expedition, shockingly. Hmm.
Care to make yourself useful?
Bernie.
Counting on you both.
Leave it to me.
And you need me for this? Are you sure? We all must do our fair share.
Wasn't enough. Oh, it was. It's just locked. Okay, well, we got the two of them to an A, so that's good. But it's locked. See you later, Con. Thank you for stopping in.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
The big one. Pacification of Hrim. Flames of unrest have engulfed Hrim territory. To prevent the violence from spreading any further, you head for the town said to be the root of the chaos. Oh, hey, Hanneman.
We're too late, Professor. She's the
Oh.
only one left.
Leonie's
What
here.
an abhorrent sight.
Remember when I said Leonie was probably going to appear in this chapter?
My Miguel! Give me back my little boy!
I'm so sorry, but your boy is... he's gone. Please, you must live on. Come with us. Leonie, will you take her? I'll check down the other way.
Come with me, ma'am. It'll be all right.
We got more bandits! They're kidnappers!
Oh, you've gotta be kidding me. Come on, we need to move.
We are hopelessly outnumbered. It seems these
Dear
streets
God,
will be
Hanneman.
my grave.
This town's even worse than the others. Quickly. Wait, is that Professor Hanneman? Does that fool really think he can contain this alone? Everyone, to me. We're mounting a rescue. I will not lose one more innocent life today.
Wow, what a tyrant.
These monsters are gonna pay.
Wow. Hanneman bringing down the mood. Alright, so persuade Leonie. 30! Leonie, you're expensive. Build a bridge to create a new path. Rally the vigilantes. Summon vigilantes to protect the citizenry's evacuation point. He's about to fuck this shit up with the power of his monocle? Okay. Alright, chat. Well, I guess we could do build the bridge and rally the vigilantes. I guess we don't need to choose. That's probably gonna be more useful. So we'll just do these top three. As you can guess, Geralt has dialogue. Honestly, okay, you can't recruit Leonie if you don't recruit Geralt. That's what I was gonna ask, because that was my assumption, but... So Leonie just left a Claude and the Golden Deer? I guess so. She just fucked off. As you do?
For
me in
Cast
there
Flash
and
me to
watch
fight will
our
bring
enemies
him.
fly.
That was Marianne.
Oh, me?
This war is ours to be won.
To be fair, Black Eagles and Golden Deer are a giant house now. Yes, they are now McDonald's. This feels like the Remire incident all over again. Uh-oh. Well, we better not bring Monica. Oh my god, I forgot Linhart was the dancer and I just saw him.
Why can't you just let me stay inside?
Well, let's bring
going to doze
Linhart.
off.
Let's
I
let him
just know it.
dance. I'm gonna have Gerald be an NPC, but maybe I should make sure that I can control him.
I'll handle this.
Why can't you just let me stay inside?
Think Lysithea does? Does anyone know if Lysithea does? Linhart runs up to Hanneman. Professor Hanneman, let me help you with dance. I would love that. That would be perfect. Imagine Lysithea does? I wish I had more playable options. Lane gonna do his best dance for his favorite teacher. Rule of thumb, just bring anyone you think has connections. Game does a good job with unique dialogue.
I'll handle this.
Alright, well maybe I'll switch them out then.
Who, me? Fine. What's the plan?
Because if they're NPCs or if they're uncontrollable, but I just put them in the room, the dialogue will still happen, right? Like I don't actually have to be controlling them. Okay. I'm gonna switch Gerald and Bernie.
Why can't you just let me stay inside?
They just need to attack. think they can even be adjutants and it will trigger, but I may be wrong. Okay. Perspective instead. Okay. Okay, so Linhardt has physic. Just in case. I wish if their abilities weren't full that it would just auto add them. Do that. Okay. I have to have Happy dismount.
This is a rescue first and foremost. We must save the townsfolk from danger,
Trickster!
as well as the brave fighters defending them. Remember, the perpetrators of this atrocity may be hiding amidst the chaos. If you find them, they are to be shown no mercy.
To protect the evacuees, we must defend this shelter at all costs. Stay on your guards.
Don't let the evacuation shelter fall.
I must outwit even death.
Edelgard's leveling up immediately.
I can't protect everyone forever.
Beat the Wyvern Lord and rescue Hannah, man. Well, I can't get over there yet. So Leonie's over there.
I'm on it. Let's see how it goes.
Manuel has dialogue with Hanneman. Well, Manuel is not here, so...
It's Birdie's time to shine! Sure hope this goes okay.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
There's not a question of can. Leave this to me.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
Here goes.
Alright, Linhardt, get ready to dance.
Leave this.
Professor Hanneman is in trouble.
Hurry! We can't afford to lose you!
I will capture this strong man.
Captain, you came to help. And you brought the Empire with you.
You did well, Leone. It's time we fight together.
It sounded like he forgot her name for a second. You did well. What was your name?
Please let us take this place down. I need somewhere to hide. Is anyone there? We need help.
This
No
is being
nobleman
attacked by
worth his salt
thieves.
can ignore the cries of citizens in danger.
Side mission. Okay,
It's
Bernie.
Bernie's time to Sure hope this goes okay.
Here goes. Here goes.
Yeah, I got it.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
Oh, if I might. If my assistance is needed, so be it.
Do you think they have more dialogue?
I'm on it.
It's you. Oh, hey, it's you, Bologna.
I've got your back.
I'm just saying. 'Cause I don't think he called her by name when he was talking about her earlier.
Here I go. No, but they must learn who they're up against.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Already?
I never doubted you would come.
Yes, you did. You were just like, oh, I'm gonna die here. Lie.
Yeah, right.
Absolute lie. He's trying to look cool for Benuela, but Benuela already has Gerald.
Well, that was certainly close. I am much obliged for your assistance.
Thank goodness we got to Professor Hanlon in time.
This has been a fine place to
Oh my god, aren't you dead yet? We really need to just kill him.
He must be the one leading the band. Time to dole out some justice.
Defeat Pilardo. Seriously, just at this point, just cut his head off. Like, he's becoming a problem.
Here I go. No mistake. They must learn who they're up against.
Where's the... I don't have a key. Oh, the chest is all the way over there.
You can. I'll do my best.
Oh, if my assistance is needed, so be it.
Not a I've got this.
Oh, hey, Happy.
Safety and be quick about it.
Pilardo's subordinates are fleeing. Defeat Pilardo's subordinate and reclaim the stolen goods.
Not a problem. I've got this.
I'm on it. Let's see how it goes.
There's not a question of can. Only
here?
leave this to me.
Here goes. Let's fight together.
It's Birdie's time to shine! Sure hope this goes okay.
Come up here and help with that.
Take a breather.
How dare they steal from the people?
I see a good crossing point. Might we be able to construct a bridge there?
Bridge.
Thank you. That was too close.
Beloved Three Houses antagonist, Pilardo.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All the
everyone's
citizens
saved.
are safe.
Good thing we collected all those materials. Build a makeshift bridge, quickly.
I love that they just build a bridge in 10 seconds.
Now we can make sure
Just
this
use the
plunder
build
is
a bridge
returned to its rightful
strategy.
owners.
What? No, I'm not him. You've got the wrong... Fine, have it your way.
Where the fuck? Hanneman?
Oh, if I must. Leave
Go
this to
heal
me.
his ass.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
I think defeat Pilardo is our only objective currently.
I'm on it. I've got your back.
It's Birdie's time to shine! Sure hope this goes okay.
They must watch this.
Well done.
Please let us take this place down. I need somewhere to hide.
Yeet.
The double I planted turned out to be a stroke of genius. Now to take my leave while the taking is still good.
Thank you for telling us what just happened and revealing your dumb
So
plan.
the other guy was a fake? No fair! You'll pay for that!
Defeat the real Pilardo. Well, we got the chest key.
Here I go. No mistake.
Not a problem.
Get him, Cheese.
I've got this.
Here I go. They must learn who they're up against.
There is not a question of can. Leave this to me.
Are you sure?
We went deep with this Pilardo plot.
Wait, I'm just a passing merchant. I'm not... Well, it was worth trying.
It's not over.
Maybe this'll help keep me on an even keel.
And I was here, Pilardo would be shitting himself.
I will capture this stronghold.
It's Birdie's time to shine! Sure hope this goes okay.
Linhardt is down there
count on me.
dancing by himself.
I'll do my best.
Oh, if I must. If my
I'm gonna send him
assistance is
over there
needed,
just in case
so
something
be it.
attacks them all.
Take a breather.
Open up! Open up, I say! This is not what we agreed to, so open up right now!
Dear me. It seems the rats have had a falling out. Maybe put him out of his misery.
I should have stayed a merchant. The money came easier.
I've seen that rogue before. Wasn't he one of the merchants who frequented Garreg Mach?
Please! Someone help me!
Oh, Matody's here too? Get the fuck out of here.
Kill that man and strip his bones of whatever you can find.
There's trouble to the east. Hurry! We haven't a moment to lose.
Hold on, Edelgard. I need to get this
There
money.
are still people under attack.
Important.
We must be giving them assistance.
Side mission. Defeat Matody's thieves. Rescue the citizens. Fair enough. So is Leone recruited?
Time to shine.
Nothing appeared.
Sure hope this goes okay.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Not a problem. I've got this.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
Not until the strategy gets used? Okay. I wasn't sure since she spoke to Gerald. Thought that would be enough, you know?
I am your man.
Monster! You'll pay for this!
Save your breath. You need to scream as I tear your limbs from your body.
Jeez, who pissed in your Wheaties this morning? Mine.
There's not a question of can, only a matter of will. Leave this to me.
My turn. Here it comes.
He has way too intimidating dialogue for a fucking generic goon.
I've got this.
I'm up!
The stronghold will fall!
Wow, lets you take up to 50% damage in this fight. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Usually 30.
I owe you my life. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not today! Leave me alone!
Tornadoes! Damn. Bernie does prevail.
All the people have been saved. Now we can be returning to the task at hand.
They must all take over.
Well, looks like
Here
everyone's
I
having
go.
fun over
They
here.
must learn who.
It's Bernie's time to shine! Alright, let's keep moving.
My turn.
Bernie to get the chest.
You do realize you're dead now.
No, I don't realize that.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Watch this.
This is
Somebody help. Please, don't leave me
So
behind.
slow motion.
That man may be depraved, but orchestrating all of this is beyond his meager capability. Our true enemy
That man may be
is
depraved,
those who
but he's
slither in
also
the dark.
stupid.
Demonic beast, eh? Wager they have been quite eager to spring this little surprise on us.
We can't allow any more damage to the town. We must eliminate the monster
Hold on.
ourselves.
I'm doing something, Hubert.
Is this poison? You cowards laced your weapons.
Wow, Leonie's been poisoned?
Leonie has been poisoned. Bring her to the shelter for treatment at once.
Wait, Leonie. Escort Leonie to the evacuation shelter to recruit them. Okay, well, Gerald, I mean, she would love nothing more than for that to be you.
Not a problem.
Yes.
Move out.
I don't know what that does, but I'm gonna pull it.
Count on me. I'll do my best. It's Birdie's time to shine.
Ferd's over there
Sure
taking
hope
on
this
the
goes okay.
beast himself. As you do. No one's attacked them yet, but I trust nothing.
Here I go. No mistakes.
If you don't recruit Gerald, she dies by the poison?
They must learn who they're up against.
Holy shit.
Leave.
Isn't there a drawbridge over to the east? We should take Leonie that way to be safe.
Where's the controls to— oh, that's what that lever's for. I'm on it.
Watch yourselves. This menace will not go down.
I saw a lever, and I was ready.
We can definitely take
The drawbridge lowered. Okay.
We've come a long way together. And this spell creature is no match for us.
I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Here we are. Maybe. Peace, did you pull the lever? She's pulled the lever. Leonie, you're fucking fine. Chill out. You've got like half health. You're fine. Dad's with you. It's fine.
Oh, if I
Although,
must. Leave this to
go
me.
heal Leonie. Linhart, go dance and heal Leonie.
I've got this.
Like how she just fucks off from Claude's army because Gerald. I mean, it's very in character. No one was surprised.
I yield to no one. Get out of my way.
That did the trick. Sorry for the trouble. If I survive this, can I fight with you?
There is always a place for a gifted ally such as yourself.
Leonie recruited.
This is a
He's
tricky
gotta have support
poison
from Gerald,
indeed.
right?
And while I'm no specialist, I will do everything in my power.
Leonie and Hanneman left the battlefield. Good.
Thank goodness. We no longer have to worry about the town being demolished.
I should have known these thugs would
This
serve
fucker.
as little more than bait. My name is Solon, and I am the savior of this beast-infested world.
People are giving the new idol in Splatoon grief for their forehead. Have you seen this man's forehead?
They must learn who they're up against.
Somehow Palpatine survived.
Are you sure?
God. Top tier writing. Mysterious mages conjured a wall. Oh. Beat the mysterious mages, bring down the wall of darkness. Again, very Kingdom Hearts.
You can count on me. I'll do my best.
There's not a question of can. Leave this to me.
Here I go. No, they must learn who they're up against.
Not a problem.
Please, I need you up here.
I've got this.
I'm on it. Time to move.
Oh, if I must. Leave this to me.
Here goes.
Yeah, I got it.
Poland is the final mission. Okay.
Ah, look. There is our true enemy. First, we will break this magic. Then we will break the man himself.
Do not make the
Hubert's
foolish
pissed.
mistake of trying to take the man alive. Solon must be struck down, here and now.
I think we can all agree on that one. Almost at 1300.
Fresh enemy soldiers are attacking the shelter.
Keep the dark bishops. You fuckers. I knew it.
Not a problem. Well, couldn't hurt. Not a problem. I've got this.
It's Bernie's
Oh,
time to
we're gonna
shine.
sit this one.
Of course they would strike where we are most vulnerable. To arms! We must defend the
Team.
shelter or all is for naught. The militia is offering to help.
Rally the
You command, I will dispatch them
vigilantes.
to defend the shelter. Will not falter.
Wall of darkness vanished.
Just wait.
Order the militia to protect the evacuees.
Bernie prevails!
F.
It's Bernie's time to shine. Sure hope this goes
Bernie, go
okay.
get him. Jeez, are you done?
Take
You're
a
not
breather.
done.
Care of the barracks. I would only deal with that mage.
Attack! Don't give him a chance to retaliate!
Now you will pay for the horrors you visited on House Cordelia.
I think Lysithia found him.
Squander your short life if you must.
Oh, now we're definitely gonna kill him. Okay, we're good on KOs.
Not a problem.
Well, Edelgard, Happy, and Lysithia are up there, so...
I'm here to help.
I'm on it. I've got your back.
Oh, if I must. If my assistance is needed, so be it.
Already? Bernie's unstoppable.
Nice one.
I will brook no interference from beasts.
Okay, that's
The
done.
shelter is safe, and hopefully the enemy is out of such tricks.
The woman cursed by flame. Here to exact your revenge, are you?
Yeah, kind of.
Nothing so petty. You stand in my path to conquest, and so shall be burned away.
It's Bernie's
I'm just
time.
gonna leave
You
Bernie in
need
here
some
just in
backup?
case.
Take a breather.
I must know how you came by those powers.
It seems our adversaries know something about us after all.
Ah, talking to cheese.
I see trifling with you was a mistake.
So I guess Happy doesn't have any?
They must learn who they're up against. I'll take over.
I shall never back down.
Yeet.
I yield to no one. Get out of my way.
Not yet. So be it. Another chance will present itself ere long.
Not today,
We knew
Palpatine.
he would try to escape, yet still we cannot stop him.
This should put an end to the disturbance in town. You all fought bravely.
We have finished assessing the damage, and it is a grim picture indeed.
Roland didn't do experiments on Happy, so he probably wouldn't have a comment about her. No, but some people in chat were saying to bring Happy, so.
Thanks to the swift action of our rescuers, we were able to free the abducted townsfolk. However, there are still countless victims who have lost their homes and families.
The bandits are targeting the most populous towns here. And it appears the Alliance is dealing with the same problem across the river in Ordelia Land. I can't give back
Ordelia
what they
Land.
lost. All I can do is give them the time they need to heal and rebuild. Yet perhaps the most vexing part is that Solon and the others slithered out of our grasp again, and we barely know
That is
more
very
about them
annoying.
than when we started.
My apologies, Your Majesty. Their warping magic is unlike the white magic we know, and as yet cannot be disrupted or thwarted. Additionally, a town such as this gives them far too many places to hide.
I'm not blaming you, Hubert.
The guy didn't even seem fazed by us. What do you think they're after?
Nothing savory. That much is certain.
I've heard enough. Proceed as we discussed. Make sure the survivors have everything they need to carry on.
That's nice, I guess.
Even an old man like me is still growing. Ha!
The future is ours to make, no matter the sacrifice. For the fate of Fodlan.
War Master.
I need more strength than this.
I had this talent hidden away?
Hey, that's not half bad.
Yes, give me money. Wow. Lots of CE supports. Leonie is now playable. She's a holy knight like Geralt, too. Are we surprised? No.
Edelgard, why was it so important for us to suddenly convene like this? We are quite busy preparing to remobilize the troops, you know.
Ah, Ferdinand. Have you not noticed the flock of messengers coming and going?
I doubt anyone's missed it with all the commotion they're causing. What happened?
I am sorry you have to repeat your report. But would you mind telling everyone here what you told us?
I come with the most urgent message from Burgley's territory. Fort Mercius has been seized.
Mm-hmm.
It happened after most of the garrison left to deal with Krim lands.
And
some of the remaining troops staged a rebellion from within. At the same time, the fort was besieged by unidentified mages, along with the army of the former
I am
Duke
so
Ire.
shocked. I cannot believe it.
Together, they managed to reach the heart of the fortress and seize control. As we speak, they hold hostage many key commanders and their families.
Ire? Then the man behind
Ferdinand!
The former Duke himself, my lord.
There it is.
It seems he's come out of hiding.
Oh, hey, remember when I said that, like, forever ago?
They're using the hostages as leverage over our loyal soldiers to force them into their ranks. It seems they intend to use the fort as a launch point for a march on the capital.
Wait, what? That's catastrophic!
My brother is stationed at Fort Mercius. Is he even doing anything about it?
Count Bergliez's successor, who was serving as the provisional garrison commander, was taken prisoner. Apparently, he made the prudent decision of refusing to join the rebellion.
Not sure if that's good news or bad news, but I know I'm glad he's not dead.
The former Duke Ire has vowed to overthrow the Emperor, and is even now calling on the other lords to join the cause. To my knowledge, there have been no takers so far.
Lol.
Given time, who can say?
There is no shortage of rotten nobles, whose status and interests were set aside by Her Majesty's reforms. There is unrest ahead in the Empire. Make no mistake.
As if we haven't dealt with a lifetime's worth already. Obviously, these people don't care about anyone but themselves.
This is calling for swift action. We must retake the fort with quickness.
Our fortunes continue taking one poor turn after another. Still, there's nothing for it. We must deal with Ire's machinations immediately and decisively.
Try to look on the bright side, Your Majesty. This could be our chance to dispose of everyone who opposes you in one fell swoop.
There's a lot more than that, Monica. Go kill your dad, son.
Scarlet Blaze, severing the past. After a furious march, Edelgard's army restores a measure of peace to the imperiled lands of Krim, only to learn of a revolt at Fort Mercius, staged by the deposed Duke Ire. The disturbance in Krim was but a feint to give those who slither in the dark time to capture Mercius, and eventually the capital of Enbar. But Edelgard moves to thwart them.
And then Gerald's like, and I went with her.
Have you heard, Duke Ire? Viscount Menya has hastened.
Have you
from
heard that your
afar to
armor
join
is
your cause.
blinding?
Our houses, Fenya and Menya, share a distant blood ancestor. And now we stand together again to save the Empire from her plight.
Hastened
sort of
from
sounds like
afar
Barbie.
with what? That miserable smattering of soldiers? From what I hear, Menya's heir is a rabid supporter of the Emperor. Are you certain the father is not being foisted on us just to get him out of the picture?
Absolutely not. And besides, all of House Fenya is united behind you. If we appeal to the other lords jointly, I'm certain a multitude
I'm
of
tour
troops
guide
will flock
Barbie.
to Fort Mercius.
I should hope so. I've no idea why they'd side with that pathetic excuse for an emperor.
All right, I'm taking his head.
Only I, Ludwig von Ire, can restore Adrestia to its former glory.
His head needs
About
to
those
be
mages,
removed
they
from
say they want
his
to,
body.
Alter the fort's defenses?
Fine, fine. Let them
Oh my
do
god,
as they
Kita, that
wish.
impression.
So long as we're outnumbered,
Yes,
we
Barbie is
must
one of
embrace
my
creative solutions.
One of my greatest impressions.
Edelgard will strike the moment we get an indication we're after
That's
the
also one of my greatest impressions.
Edelgard. Lure her troops inside, then dispose of them all
This
at
man
once.
is deluded as
It'll be
fuck.
an easy victory.
This living porta potty. That's rude to
tactician.
Kellum.
They will never see it coming. Now, if we might discuss key posts in your future administration.
Edelgard. Dude, I can't take you
only hope
seriously.
Her Majesty is weak and foolish enough to be so ensnared.
How stupid are you,
It was never
bro?
my intent to divide the Empire in war. That's not what I wanted. If she'd said one word, indicating there might be a place for me, none of this would have been necessary.
Your son is such a better man than you are.
Enough. I must purge my mind of such thoughts. I must win.
He's the Empire's
I must
Rufus.
prevail over her.
Is he being
And if I
swayed by those who slither in the dark, though? Because Rufus
you must
was.
be the one to cut me down, Ferdinand.
Oh, he will.
Edelgard, do you have a moment?
They weirdly try to make him, like, forgivable, but it doesn't work at all. No. It really doesn't.
Of course, Ferdinand, but please keep it short.
It is about my father. My pleas for a fair trial cost you time and delayed his sentencing. It also gave the Knights of Seiros an opening to conduct their raid, which provided him ample opportunity to stage an escape. I am to blame for all that has transpired.
Let me hurry you along to the point, if I may. What are you going to do about it? Or, more likely, what do you want me to do about it?
Put me in the field when we retake Fort Mercius, and permit me to rectify my own mistake. Will you allow me that?
I was wondering when you'd ask. Don't worry, I've already made the arrangements. But you mustn't do anything reckless. You will stick to the battle plan, and that is a direct order.
Ah, Edelgard, you are the very picture of reason, the very epitome of wise stewardship.
Enough. You can gush over me after the battle if you still feel the urge. We've no idea how things will go after all, and you may be in a very different mood.
True. All the same, I am grateful. Thank you.
You can come out, Hubert. I know you're listening.
I came to give you the latest reports, Your Majesty, but decided to wait until this
Hubert,
other
I know you're
business
lurking.
reached its conclusion.
Then you know what must be done. Make sure he's given protection.
Oh, I will if I find the time. You do keep me quite busy, after all.
Hubert,
You
you
found a
butthole.
way to take care of them?
I can assure you, those Cretans will rue ever setting foot in Her Majesty's fortress. They wanted thick walls, and we will give them the thickest ones a coffin can provide.
This is our chance to decimate the forces of those who slither in the dark.
I appreciate that she goes to actually have a conversation with Ferd about it. Instead of just kind of making a decision. You know what I mean? Like, she clearly respects his feelings. Instead of just being like, okay, well, this is how we're going to handle it. Edelgard might be the only Black Eagle that loves her dad without hesitation. Well, Petra, though. But yeah, most of the other ones don't. I don't know if Linhardt seems like kind of indifferent. I know, what a tyrant, guys. Oh my gosh. Hubert tumbles half a dresser. I really wish they would have used those moments to do something funny. Like to just zoom in on Hubert like half hidden behind a wall. If I recall correctly, Ferdinand did look up to his dad, but he recognizes he's a piece of shit. He does, yeah. And that's really interesting to kind of see him come to that conclusion and realize, like, hey, maybe giving him this chance wasn't a great idea. Like, Ferd was trying to do what was right. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
I have an idea.
So hear me out. Maximum training points. Yes.
I'll do what I can.
Shall we?
I guess Ferdy's dad was a really good and affectionate dad for Ferdy to have loved him. I don't know if that's true. I mean, plenty of kids still, you know, like, shower their parents with affection, even if it's not necessarily earned. So I don't think that necessarily makes him a good dad. Don't know. I think Ferd just got everything he wanted. Yeah, it's hard to say because we don't really see much of his father outside of, like, all this stuff going on. We don't really see their relationship. You know more about, like, you know, Caspar and his dad and their dynamic, but not so much here. Kind of explains his huge ego trip pre-time skip in Three Houses. Yeah, I think Ferd is just very spoiled, pampered. But he grows and changes a lot. I think Ferdy's dad treated him way better than the other kids. The other dads treated their kids, but that's obviously because Ferdy had a crest. Yeah, considering his father, he probably, I don't know. It's really hard to say, but it's possible that he really only cared about, like, Ferd and what he could do for him, but my parents were neglectful, still can't get out of the cycle of forgiving them without meaning to. Every time they screw me over. Yeah, it's hard. When it's your family, it's very difficult. So an award is available.
Well, how'd it go?
Thank you.
Any result's a good result. Supplies are the lifeblood of any army.
Yeah, I definitely think Ferd is one of
Everything
the
has
best
its
characters,
use.
like one of the best written characters. He's just a very complex person and also changes a lot.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Okay. Move these two together. Move these two together.
Can't wait to see how you do.
I guess these just unlocked. That's my assumption. Not all of them. I wonder if that'll unlock after this chapter. That would make sense. Oh, come on. Like right there.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
It's weird that the mothers are rarely even mentioned. It is kind of weird. Is Ferd's special innate ability from Great Knight? I don't have my notebook with me. It is? Okay. We can work on that then.
We're done here.
Oh, we got a couple perfects.
I apologize in advance for any ridicule you face.
Can't let this power go unused.
Training can be the... Can't wait to see how you do.
Okay. Go to my Scythia.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Oh, Leonie. Okay. I guess I didn't check Leonie's
Proper training, you'll be unstoppable.
reports, which I need to do. Bird and Linhart. I remember she had a paralogue with Linhart. Raphael Lorenz. That makes sense. And she has them with Gerald. Are we surprised? No. No one was surprised. They go to an A too. Alright.
Training can be the difference between
Fair
victory
enough.
and defeat.
Edelgard and Caspar are almost there.
Training together sure beats doing it alone.
Des and Leonie are locked completely.
Not that there's any point in me getting stronger.
What a
They're Golden
fascinating
Wildfire
power.
exclusive. Huh. Interesting.
Training can be... Can't wait to see how you do.
Well, as competition now. Oh no.
Care to make yourself useful?
I hate it when you're trying to increase support points and like they don't have any with like I get that this is what Dad would want to do, but irritating.
Counting on you both.
I don't know how much help I'll be, but okay.
Right. Let's get this out of the way.
We
I
all
got
must
some
do our
blue
fair
cheese.
share. Care to make yourself useful?
Counting on you both.
You have not to worry about with me on the job.
Sure, I can help. We all must do our fair
We're
share.
just trying to take Ferd's mind off of everything. Okay, now we gotta see if Leone and Dad have unique dialogue.
Hunger is the true enemy.
It's almost the same shade of orange. They're wearing almost the same shade.
Hey, this is great. I bet anyone would love this stuff.
This is pretty good for Merc Grub. You could learn a thing or two, Leone.
I could make something as good as this, no sweat. I've been working on my cooking skills, you know.
Trying to impress.
Come back whenever you're hungry. Hunger is the true enemy.
I love how, like, no one likes that fried crayfish. It's gonna take me a little bit. I'm trying to find something that both Edelgard and Hubert like. There we go. If you press X on the main menu, it shows the characters who like the dish. Oh, F.
Hey, this is great. I bet anyone would love this stuff.
After the war ends, I hope we continue to share a table like this.
That will be possible in the world you envision, so long as we prevail and survive to see it.
This feels very intimate, and I feel like I shouldn't be here.
Come back whenever you're hungry. Hunger is the true enemy.
It does show, just like that. Well, that would have been... Well... Anyway.
Come back whenever you're hungry.
Hubert and Monica have funny meal dialogue. I'm trying to remember if we did that. I feel like we had Monica in either Edelgard or Hubert. Do you guys remember? Those two are a step away from cuddling each other in front of you, right?
Time to work
So I'm like, Soft petting at the dinner table. The tension can be cut with a knife with the meal with Monica and Hubert. See, I thought we did that one. It's been a while though, so I don't remember. Diligent Trainee 5.
Training together sure beats doing it alone.
I need more strength than this.
Hey, a new power. All right.
Time to work you into shape.
Alright, Bird. Linhardt doing physical activity looks wrong. Those are some giant
Gaze upon my
pauldrons.
splendid finery.
Good lord, Ferd. Not quite close though. I haven't yet. No, Linhardt was NPC last battle.
Get a load of us.
Who knew this power slept within?
Lightning axe. Fun.
I think we both enjoyed that.
Training can be the difference between. Can't wait to see how you do.
Aw. We're Senorita. Okay, so we're gonna have to go around and talk to everybody in camp. And I'm sure we have quite a few battles that we need to do. But we're not gonna be doing that tonight because it is 12:30 about. So I think I'm gonna call it tonight, but we will be continuing next week if you want to see more Free Hopes. So please join me then. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys next week.